Sea of Thieves has come, but this update's done. Season 16's the Reapers. They ruled on the 22nd of May. Come on, baby, don't fear the Reapers. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the Reapers. We'll dig up a friend. Don't fear the Reapers. A skeleton friend. La, 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 la. Jeff, thank you for that cowbell. That was magnificent.
Yeah, it's really cool because you didn't even tell me to bring that. I just happened to have that.
You know, you've got so many cows in your home office that you just have to have the cowbells to keep them at bay. And I was like, I'm going to take advantage of that on this episode.
I appreciate it. Yeah, glad I could help. All of the stuff.
It is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day to you, Jeff.
I
was talking like Buck Dharma, the lead singer of Blue Oyster Cult, specifically as heard on their 1976 album, Agents of Fortune. And the reason I was doing that is because we are talking about Sea of Thieves Season 16 on this episode. So logically, I had to go for the classic rock reference.
Right. For anyone who doesn't know, Season 16 is about the 1976 rock and roll album, Agents of Fortune.
That's right. You actually swim underneath the water and you get blue oysters. You have to look for them. And that would be good.
It's not like Donkey Kong Bananza where you get to collect the albums, record albums, the DVDs as they've been colloquially named. But no, in Sea of Thieves they don't have that. They just have actual oysters.
Yes. No, we are finally getting around to this. We have been a little bit negligent in our duties here on the Kongversation because this season of Sea of Thieves ended back in mid-August. We are a month late at getting around to this, but the reason, in our defense, in absolute fairness to us, is because we have been preoccupied with the big new Donkey Kong game, and that's been far, far sexier to talk about, so it really felt like Sea of Thieves had to take the back burner on the Kongversation. And then I was like, well, Talk Like a Pirate Day is going to be on September 19th, so why don't we just get it done then? We have to do a pirate episode, so it just makes sense to shunt it to that arbitrary date, and that's what I did.
We are a fan of the shunting, as seen in the 1990 film by Stuart Gordon, Society. And if you haven't seen it, look it up. It's a cute flick. And the verb shunting is involved. You'll find out.
So yes, season 16 of Sea of Thieves was called, was it Reaper's Rules?
I believe it was called Reaper's Rule is what the kind of season banner was.
Yeah.
But if you go in-game and go to the Commendations tab under what was formerly, at this time, it was called the Bilge Rats tab of the Reputation subsection. Under Bilge Rats, the subheading was not Reaper's Rule, it was Reaper's Rising.
Yes. So, of course, they've crossed their wires yet again. Reaper's Rules just sounds like something you would write on your Trapper Keeper. You know, like, it's good for back to school season because it does just seem like some sort of like K through 12 marketing campaign to, like, you know, really appeal, like seem edgy, but you're not edgy at all. Just like some sort of cereal that's advertising to kids, like, sorry adults, Reaper's Rule.
Yeah, Reaper's Rule. Yeah, Reaper's Rule, Batman drools, Robin laid an egg. We all know this one. This is a classic.
Out of his cloaca, right, Jeff?
Sure thing. Tune in to our previous episode. Tune into all the previous episodes of the Kongversation to find out what a cloaca is.
Yeah, we break it down for you. We really, really love that wonder hole here on the podcast. Yeah. But, you know, speaking of Bananza, Jeff, this is going to be Sea of Thieves based. I'm not going to talk about Bananza all that much on this episode.
Me neither.
So apologies. But speaking of Bananza, I just want to say I have beaten Donkey Kong Bananza. I did it.
What?
I did it, Jeff.
Oh, my.
I did it, Jeff.
Holy meoly.
141 hours. So I know you're disgusted by that because you beat in the first weekend.
Is that the movie about the guy who chops off his arm on a mountain?
Yeah, I kind of felt like
Yes.
that. Except we don't like James Franco anymore, and we like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think they have a backup Franco that's essentially fine, David or whatever. So we'll go with that one. With regards to Francos, but yeah, 100. What did you say? 147.
141 hours.
141. Oh,
yeah.
Come on! You couldn't squeeze 6 more.
Well, there's
in
the
there,
post game.
looking
There's
at
the post game.
Photos. There is the post game and the DLC, which
Yeah.
I don't know if you've acknowledged. You surely have talked about the DLC on the podcast so far that at this point, right? That it exists. Anyway,
I talked about it with Malik. We did our big Nintendo Direct episode that was live, and we will be giving full coverage to the post game, to the DLC. We of course are still doing our Bananza world by world episodes. The very next episode of the conversation will be on Sublayer 1100, so stay tuned for that. However, I just wanted to say I did promise a post Bananza reaction video from me. That is still coming. I just I'm not happy with the quality of what I shot because I'm not making this up. I look like I was making my O face throughout it, and I'm very self-conscious about it. I'm not on camera much, and it looked like I was just having an orgasm the entire time because honestly, I probably was. I probably was revealing a little bit too much about myself, about what was going on in my nether regions after I beat Bananza. So maybe it wasn't a good idea to immediately capture my reaction within the first 30 minutes after beating it because that's private. I really like...
Yeah. That's true. None of us want to see your post-orgasm, and it's so obvious. You went to the bathroom, you fell asleep, all of the post-orgasm classics, which, it's none of our business. By the way, you said O-face, and I initially was curious where you were going to go with that because I'd never heard of the phrase before. I was hoping it stood for Onan, but then you said orgasm, like some sort of blue languaged sailor mouth, but no, Onan, my last name, is not dirty at all. It's a regular word and it means me.
Well, anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a big bowl of cornflakes, stifle those urges, and then I'm going to re-record it. It's not going to be as hot off the presses as I initially intended it, but apparently I'm too filthy and vulgar and too horny for Donkey Kong to actually have an acceptable YouTube video. Maybe I'll upload it to Pornhub or, what was the new one? X videos, whatever. Maybe I'll,
the new hotness.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that or I'll have it be for just a patron exclusive, like DK Vine After Dark,
Could be.
I'll start my OnlyFans, but
Only fans.
Yeah. We'll see.
I tried to give Hyle advice. I gave him some advice, okay, well, this is how you stifle an erection. Just think about your grandmother. And I said, just think about your grandmother. And the problem is, Hyle's grandmother is a fucking smoke show. It is not helpful. Hyle's grandmother, who lives up in the hinterlands, the mountains, she's like a 12 out of 10. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
So it didn't help Hyle at all.
My grandmother actually died last year, so thanks for that, Jeff.
Oof. Dude, okay, I'm supposed to know. You could have as many as 4 or more grandmothers, and grandmothers also can just be people in spirit. You could have as many as infinity grandmothers. I don't know, and they could be hot.
No, I'm the hottest one in my family.
So far. That speaks good to the eventual. It's all uphill from here.
Well, anyway, post Bananza reaction video, PG rated, is coming. Don't worry.
Cummin.
On the topic of DK Vine, Stinky Ape Summer 2025 officially closes out with this episode. Talk Like a Pirate Day is truly the end of the season. You can't stretch it out any further. It's the last summer holiday on the calendar before it rolls into autumn in the Northern Hemisphere. So that being said, Jeff, it is a perfect segue into the spooky season. And this is season 13 of The Kongversation, and you like to do this bit on all the episodes you're on in season 13 of The Kongversation. You like to say something scary. And since we are saying farewell, adieu to summer, and saying hello to the, is it Franco Stein? Is that the good one? It must be, because I'm seeing Frankensteins everywhere right now. They're just lousy with Frankensteins in the department stores.
He wrote the Goosebumps. So I don't like that you called my thing a bit. I don't call your podcast a bit. I don't call your marriage a bit. You know, this is my life, Hyle. This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is me. But yes, every episode of the Kongversation podcast during season 13 of that podcast, I'm letting the listeners know about one spooky thing so that they're aware. It's important, and it's very, very good to do.
So good.
And so it's so good to do. Here is this week's scary thing. I wanted to let you know, there is a character in film, in the canon of film, in the history of Hollywood, that is the most happiest, best. And I thought about it. I decided which one it is. I've done the research, and it's called Minions. I don't know if you've heard of Minions. They're yellow.
Oh, you mean like the Christmas decorations that are in people's lawns?
Right. They're yellow. They're like banana yellow, but they're hilarious. And they are actually the most joyous characters in the history of film. And I wanted to tell you that first. That's point number one, bullet point number one. The Minions are happy, great, wonderful. But bullet point number two, there are 6 films that have the Minions on there. Did you know this?
6.
There are 6 films with Minions on them. Now, I have some notes written down. I wanted to let you know there are also 6 films about Scream. You know Scream?
I do know
the Ghostface.
Yeah, Ghostface.
Yeah, there are 6 films of those. There are 8 movies about Chucky. He's a killer doll. 8 of them. There are 11 Hellraisers. There's 12 Jasons, 13 Michaels, 10 Freddys, 10 Saws, 10 Children's of Corn, 4 Jawses, 4 Pumpkin's Head, 10 official Amityville Horrors, and over 40 unofficial Amityville Horrors, obviously based on the real-life criminal case that occurred on November 13th, 1974, in which Ronald DeFeo killed 6 members of his family on Long Island. There are over 200 movies about Dracula, and he's not even the only vampire. So, where am I going with this? Well,
I don't know.
I'm here to tell you, Hyle, there is no silver lining. People are scared. Monsters are real. Spooky stuff is real. And not even the happy Minions can hold the line against the onslaught. All right. This is our world. And that is this week's spooky thing.
Wow. Chills.
Cool. You want to talk about Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, although now I'm like kind of intrigued by all the Draculas out there. I love a good Dracula.
There's so many Draculas.
Yeah, like the thing about Dracula.
Did you know that?
Oh, go ahead.
Tell me.
No, I want to hear your thing first.
Oh, I was just going to say, in my count of Draculas, I did not even count any of the Count Orloks. Count Orlok from the film Nosferatu.
You didn't count the Count Orloks.
I didn't count the Count Orloks. I didn't count them. But Count Orlok famously is the first film adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, although it's an unofficial adaptation with all of the serial numbers sanded off. And Bram Stoker's widow whose name I forget, she worked her life's goal to try and get the film Nosferatu erased from history, all of the tapes destroyed, because she hates art. And anyways, in my count of Dracula films, I didn't even count the Nosferatus, which there are at least 5.
Mm-hmm. I love Dracula, and for a very specific reason. When I was a little toddler and I was watching Sesame Street, my favorite Sesame Street character was the Count, the Muppet, the purple Muppet vampire who lives on Sesame Street. And I just love that character. And from then on, I was all about the Draculas. And I think also because Dracula seemed like such a safe monster when you were a kid, because I never feared Dracula because Dracula was all the way, in Eastern Europe. I didn't have to worry about Dracula coming into my bedroom at night. There's no fear. And I always thought if Dracula and I, met, if we broke bread, we'd be cool with each other, because I'm pro Dracula and he would respect that and leave me and mine alone. So
you want to be a familiar is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I've always really liked Dracula. That was my go-to monster as a kid. That's a little fact about my life.
I love that. And, I had a similar experience, just because you're right. It's not that scary to watch Dracula because he's in Transylvania. He's in a gothic horror castle. But when I was growing up and I watched the first horror film to bring horror into American suburbia, The Night of the Living Dead by George Romero, I was like, oh, horror movies can be in Pittsburgh. You can trade the flowing drapes of a gothic castle for the plastic blinds of a shitty house in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
This is a revelation.
I think because I did see that movie as a young child and it scarred me. And I hate zombies as a result, but I love Draculas. And I think gothic horror, monsters from folklore, so Universal, Hammer, I just love that aspect of horror, and therefore I love the Halloween season. So yeah, I love Dracula, I love Frankenstein, and I like the Werewolf Man.
Yeah, all of the above, and that fishy guy too. Why didn't he get a cereal? How come there's no cereal about the fish guy? Yeah. You know how there's a cereal about the rest? There is cereal about that fish guy.
Yeah, and it could be flavored like sardines or something. Little
right, come on.
Little fishy marshmallows. Anyway, hello to our live stream, by the way. We are streaming this for our $5 and up patrons who, for some reason, are listening to us right now. Hello to Chocolate Milk Drinker. Hello to Just Andre. Hello to March Rose. Hello to S Monaco 14. Tuning in for a damn Sea of Thieves episode.
Hundreds upon hundreds of others. We cannot name them all. We just don't have the time, but we do appreciate all of you.
Absolutely. You can become a DK Vine patron, and you can listen to the Kongversation episodes live as they're recorded at the $5 and up tier by visiting patreon.com/DKVine or reversey dkvine.com/Patreon. Thank you so much.
Right. And you get that behind the scenes glimpse with the live episodes, like that part where Hyle yelled at me to go buy a cowbell. That's not gonna make that didn't make it into the live episode.
3 minutes before we started, I was like, Jeff, you have a cowbell, right?
Oh, fuck. I didn't prepare. I did not prepare.
Yeah.
Yes, but anyways. We are here to talk about Sea of Thieves Season 16, which is a dead season. It no longer exists. Why is everything spooky? Everything is dead in this episode, but I guess we'll just get into it.
To be
What
fair,
is it, Hyle?
To be fair, the content is still there. The things they added for Season 16 are still applicable. For the most part.
So far.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was called Reaper's Rule, and it was the first season that was themed all around the Reaper's Bones Trading Company. For those who aren't familiar, that is one of the factions in the game, and they are specifically themed around PvP fighting other players, and in fact, they're also themed around the bad guys, so to speak, of Sea of Thieves. Captain Flameheart, the forces of flame and evilness, they're generally bad. But the Reaper's Bones is it's a faction you can level up by fighting other players, by stealing their treasure, and other associated acts. This is the first time they've done a season specifically that's like, we're going to add a bunch of features themed around that.
Now, to be fair, they have added lots of Flameheart related like stuff in past seasons, like when the Burning Blade came into Sea of Thieves. It's just, this is the first season that's really given you new features and, most importantly, voyages for the Reaper's Bones, because as you said, it is a PvP oriented faction, and so the big initial draw of it was you're not going on voyages, you're not necessarily digging up treasure, although you could do that, but you have one sell point. You have the Reaper's hideout around the middle of the map, and it becomes this choke point if lots of people are showing up to sell their ill-gotten goods, because then, you know, no honor among thieves, especially the Reapers, and so you can have battles at the Reaper's hideout as you show up to sell your treasure, usually stolen treasure, well, then other people might steal it from you. And so, I mean, that's the gimmick of the Reaper's Bones. It's the filthiest, ugliest faction in the Sea of Thieves.
Yep, and this whole season was about that, which we love.
It's a feel-bad time all around for like 4 months.
Yeah, and probably 4 years or more, right? So anyway, but so throughout the season, obviously in Sea of Thieves, a season, if you're not entirely familiar, takes about 3-ish months. They come out with an update every month. They'll add new stuff to the Pirate Emporium, where you can buy cosmetics for the game. They'll add new stuff to the regular in-game shops, where you can buy stuff for regular gold. They'll do little events here and there, like Golden Glory double XP weekends, or the Community Weekend, which they did not do during Season 16. Which Community Weekend got delayed.
Now, so as much as the concept of Community Weekend, I've kind of like complained about it. I'm over it now. Like my complaints are nullified in that I just don't care anymore. But it does bother me that there is no Season 16 Community Weekend, because you get a flag for logging in on Community Weekend, right? And so
this breaks Hyle's little brain, the way they did this.
It breaks my little brain who loves orderly things. And so you look in your flag box in Sea of Thieves, and you've got the flags for Community Weekends, seasons 1 through 15, and now Season 17. But there is no flag for Season 16, and there never will be. There never will be.
No. There won't. And, you know, but Hyle, maybe it'll help if you can think of it like the 13th floor on a hotel where they just decide to call it 14. You know, have you ever seen that? Heard of this?
Of course I've seen it. Yeah, I've stayed in hotels that don't have the 13th floor.
Right, of course you have. You are a hotel man.
You can do all sorts of things in hotels. All sorts of things you'd be ashamed to do in your own home.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
It's a filthy, filthy place. I'm just saying
it is filthy. Yeah, you could, for example, you could go to the 13th story in a building and all of the numbers on the doors will say 14. It's a filthy thing, and it's wrong. But yeah, so you just have to rationalize that in Sea of Thieves, Season 16 was that.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what, think of it this way, Hyle, because who sells you the flags but the shipwrights on the outposts? And because this season was really sponsored by the Reaper's Bones factions, the outpost people just refuse to even acknowledge this season. They hate Flameheart that much, and that's why there's no flag.
It's bad mojo. You don't want to put a Season 16 Community Weekend flag at the top of your ship because, well, one, that doesn't exist, and two, that would curse you.
Yeah, no, it's bad. And you wouldn't want to manufacture and sell one of those flags if you're a shipwright. Golly dang.
Golly dang.
Yeah, good golly, Miss Molly. Before we get into really the meat of the season, talking about what it is, what it was, what it had, what it did. Every season, every all the time in Sea of Thieves, they have sort of little promotional things. I wanted to say the word promotions, but you can't say promotions or else you get yelled at. They had a lot of little stuff that happened. Like, for example, when this season launched, Sea of Thieves also launched on Battle.net. I think maybe we brought that up on the last episode, but we brought up that it was gonna happen. Now we're bringing up that it did indeed happen.
It did indeed happen. The day Season 16 launched, it also launched on Battle.net, which I suppose is a big deal. You know, I'm pretty sheltered, Jeff. I'm but a newborn babe, and I really don't understand how video games work in the modern era. I'm a Nintendo kid through and through, so, you know, I'm like, you get a little cartridge and you slip it in, and then you play the game. And there's whole Battle.nets now where people play your Warcrafts or your Worlds of, and
think it's not super complicated. Sea of Thieves came to PC and then it launched on Steam. Steam is a app, a launcher, a service, a storefront. And Battle.net, from what I presume, is just a different one. Because on the PC, there's not such a thing as one app to do your stuff.
No, I know.
It's an open market. It's not. Whereas on your Nintendo Switch, Nintendo owns the shop. They own the whole console. Nintendo has a monopoly on the Nintendo Switch, but nobody has a monopoly on the PC.
Yeah. To be fair,
you can have it all.
There is a monopoly on Battle.net because it's owned by Blizzard.
Right, but they have equal access to your computer as Steam does.
True. Yeah, I'm aware of this. Yeah.
Anyway, they're all websites. They're apps essentially, applications.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It is fine. I don't have an issue with it. I'm just saying, like, this whole ecosystem of Sea of Thieves is now on Battle.net. I was like, cool. Like, I'm not excited about this because I will probably never play it on Battle.net. But it expands the reach of the game, which, you know...
Yeah.
Like,
right.
It's continuing to bring in new fans, even 7.5 years after it's launched. And it's doing that by expanding out from the Xbox infrastructure to PlayStation 5, to Battle.net, on Steam, you know. So, you know, it's not a bad thing.
I can make a Blizzard joke. I'm really thinking it through, though. It's struggling to come to me. They wanted to expand their reach, but they had to construct additional pylons. Am I right? Gamers, tell me if I'm right. Let me know. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the YouTube comments. See what else happened. Sea of Thieves launched a skin for Microsoft Solitaire card game. Cool.
Yeah, we also talked about that, I think, last time. I brought up the terror of not knowing if Microsoft Solitaire would be DKU or not.
Solitaire. Yeah, and it's not. It's just cards.
Yeah, there's no solitaire in my heart that day.
There's also, and I've wrote this. I'm the one who wrote this note down, and I'm not even sure exactly what it means. I wrote Figgies, Figgyyz, Figgies, question mark.
Oh,
Wave 1 and Wave 2.
Are they those like those Newtons? I like those.
Yeah, no, they're a newfound twist on Fig Newtons where they put the fig on the outside. They're very sticky to touch.
Some people like that. Some people like a little.
Some people might like that.
A little goo.
No, I guess these are like
diet.
These are like figurines you can buy, but they're. I actually do know what it is, and I'll stop pretending. They're. It's like pixel art characters. You buy one, and it comes. It's a pixel art figurine, 2-dimensional image essentially, that is on a magnet, and then the magnet sticks to a background that also comes with it. But then you can stick it to other backgrounds. You could flip the background around and have a different background, and it's just like a display of a pixelated character. and Sea of Thieves got them finally. they got in on the next hit wave of popular toys.
Honestly, I've been sleeping so soundly since we finally got those figgies for Sea of Thieves.
I know. We don't have to take calls about it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the key. Rare celebrated their 40th anniversary. You did a podcast episode about that.
Yeah.
And as a part of that celebration, it bled into Sea of Thieves, the video game, as well, during Season 16.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah. There's also, I mean, a lot of stuff in Season 17 as well. But yeah, for the 40th anniversary, there were various things like the rare ruby hats that you could earn from Microsoft Rewards. What a clusterfuck that was, Jeff.
I didn't do it.
It's still available. I think it's available through like the middle of October or something, but
I'm not. I think it's October 4th. It's good till October 4th, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, there's this thing where you have to like use Bing on desktop and 5 times on desktop across 5 different days, and then you have to use it on mobile 5 times across 5 different days. But the problem was, like, you can't just go to Bing 5 times in a row because it locks you out. Like, it only counts once per 24 hours, but then it wouldn't count even after 24 hours were up. So you would just go to Bing and it would, like, your counter would stay the same. And then arbitrarily, maybe the next day it would count it. Maybe 2 days after that it would count it. So it took me about 15 days when it should have taken 5.
Yeah, who knew that someone named Bing could be bad? He's my favorite Crosby. I don't know. I saw this thing. Bing Crosby was on, I don't remember, it was like Barbara Walters or something later in his life. Yeah. Bing Crosby kind of had went on a sort of a conservative bent later in his life, like a traditionalist, and outspoken about, I don't know, women getting married out of wedlock or whatever, or women having children out of wedlock or whatever, or whatever.
Wow.
And they asked him about it. They said like, hey, well, what if your daughter was pregnant and she came to you and was like, hey, I'm pregnant. What, and Bing Crosby, I'm trying to get the quote right. I'm trying to remember. He said, they said, what would you do if your daughter out of wedlock was pregnant? He said, well, that'd be Aloha on a steel guitar.
I mean,
cool.
Yeah. I mean, that guy, I mean, fuck that guy. I mean, like,
probably.
Yeah, he was America's dad in the 80s, but then all that stuff came out about he put the stuff in the drinks, or I don't care.
The Stills and Nash were good.
I don't care how good he was at selling Jell-O. I don't think we should celebrate him anymore.
He was better when Neil Young was part of it, but
rest in peace, Theo. I don't know. We're ramming through 2 different reference points, and we're just talking over each other.
Or 4. Yeah. And nobody on our audience likes any of it.
No,
they're disliking it right now. So, there was the 40th anniversary Rare Ruby emote on the Rare Ruby hat. The Rare Ruby emote was an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate perk. The Pirate Emporium had discounts on rare themed sets. There was a Rare Ruby eye patch that was a login bonus. Ruby Reaper Marks sales was a time limit in the Emporium. All this stuff happened. It's fine. We're blasting past it. Yes. But Hyle, this is actually something I did want to talk about, because I just today was brainstorming what would have been a cool way to celebrate Rare's 40th anniversary in Sea of Thieves. And do you want to hear my pitch?
I would love to hear your pitch.
Okay, so Captain Black Eye.
Oh, I love it already.
Yeah, I thought you might. So, okay. So I thought they could... This is the Rare 40th anniversary sort of coincided with the launch of Season 17, which added those, like, what do you call those? The art portraits that are like valuable art or whatever.
Smugglers.
That are smugglers' contraband.
Yeah.
You know? You can find washed up on the shores just like paintings now. And I was like, okay, what if there was in Sea of Thieves in a story where Captain Black Eye shows up on an island and he says, hey, some sort of time traveler is leaving paintings around the Sea of Thieves showing things to come in the things, rare pieces of the how do I say this? Rare pieces of art showing events from the future. Yeah. And you go and you find them, and they take you through the history of Rare, the studio. You find these paintings, and you get one for Saberman, you get one for Battletoads, you get one for Banjo-Kazooie, and these are like premonitions. They're an oracle that has painted these or something. Who knows what they came from? And you go and you find them all. You bring them back to Black Eye. You put Perfect Dark and Conquer and Killer Instinct and Viva Pinata cameo. And then when you get to the end, you have to fight Spinal, because the model for Spinal is already in Sea of Thieves.
That's true.
It's already in there. There's a skeleton man who's already in there named Spinal. Make him a skeleton lord, let you fight him, you kill him, and you unlock TT the stopwatch.
Jeff, I mean, of course, I'm going to love that pitch. I'm going to sign off on that pitch. If I'm in charge, I'm listening to you. You've got my ear. But yeah, it's a shame that they don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
No, that's true. Well, then what you would do with it after that, so you've got this it's sort of a museum tour of Rare's history through these paintings, but you bring them all back to Captain Blackeye, but Captain Blackeye stays in the game permanently, and when you talk to him, he is essentially a separate little shopkeep, a separate little black market store where you can buy, in honor of 40 years of Rare history, 40 Rare-themed cosmetics, including all of the paintings that you found during that event are now trinkets you can buy to hang in your ship. But also stuff like the Battletoads frog trinket and the Conquer squirrel trinket and all these things. They, in honor of the anniversary, they leave the Pirate Emporium and they go into Captain Blackeye's shop for everyone to buy for free. And no, they're not for free. They're for in-game currency instead of real-life currency. Mm-hmm. But here's the twist. The cost of each thing is the year it came out. So if you want to buy a Banjo-Kazooie thing, it costs $1,998. That's a reference to the year.
That's a reference.
Very cute.
Could also get like Leaky the Bucket as a pail.
Yes, and a Viva Pinata shovel as a shovel.
We've been on about that for how many years now?
Literally all of them. Like since Sea of Thieves was...
I think since the start of Sea of Thieves, we've been banging on about those two cosmetics in particular. But yeah, it is a shame because it feels like, they don't really do a lot of Rare heritage stuff anymore. I'm really liking Season 17's Plunder Pass rewards because they are like Rare logo themed. So it's something. I like the Rare logo, so it's good. But yeah, I think they've barely scratched the surface on some of the Rare wares, as you would call them, that you could get in the game. And they did have some like various weapon sets that were themed after like Killer Instinct, but then they just stopped doing it. And it's like there's so much more you can do, everyone.
I think they covered it all. They're done.
Oh, okay.
It's a completed mission. Before we get into the episode at hand, we're going to talk about Sea of Thieves Season 16, the Reaper's Rule season. I did want to just quickly say to Hyle that I have his favorite thing, which is a surprise. He loves them. He's a fan of surprises. And I have one for you, if you're willing.
Okay.
You are.
Sure.
Okay. It's I like to do a little game once in a while.
Uh-oh.
A little treat,
not
little
Uncle
tasty
Dad.
treat, because sometimes it's not Uncle Dad. Don't worry, we just did Uncle Dad on the Bananza episode. So, although it got cut for time, no, I got a new different game because we love this season of Sea of Thieves, but we don't have a lot to say about it. So we're gonna play my game while we go. The game is a little trivia. The trivia is: are these 60s and 70s rock and roll bands or DKU characters?
Okay. All right.
No, and so I've decided we can workshop this live, but I thought I'll come up with three answers. One of them's right. One of the answers is a 60s or 70s rock band.
Okay.
One of the answers is a DKU character, and one of them is a A decoy that I made up.
Oh no. Okay.
It's nothing. And maybe I'll ask them. I know that the problem with this game is I'm confident you will get every single one of them right. So I think it's less of a game for you and more of a game for our audience. And our audience won't even like it. So that's cool.
I was going to say, this is a game just tailor-made for you and I. The audience wants no part of this, Jeff.
Yes. I think that you'll enjoy hearing them, but I think there's no chance you get any of them wrong.
Okay.
So we'll read them and we'll kind of leave it up in the air for the audience to think
for
about.
Our audience,
you
this
and
is
I
like
will
attending a 1-year-old's birthday party. It's not for it's not for them. It's not for the recipient in question. It's for the parents, which is
right.
You.
You're like, okay, hello, welcome to the bris. We're going to chop off a wiener or whatever. It's like, all right, cool. I don't care about babies. Yeah, so I'll read the questions and the answers. We'll let it stew for the audience, but you and I will give each other a knowing nod because I think we'll both know it.
Okay.
I will definitely know it.
I would hope so.
All right, we're going to have one real quick before we get into the meat of the episode.
You keep saying the meat of the episode, but this is the Reaper season, so there should be an absence of meat for the hardcore Reapers because they are skeletons.
You're right. Absence of meat. We'll get into the bones.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Bones. Here's the first one. Ready? I'm gonna name 3 things. One of them is a DKU character. One of them is a 60s or 70s rock and roll band. One of them is made up completely. Okay. All right. Mungo Jerry, Mango Jolly, Minji Jongo. You can't see this on the podcast, but in the same way that a late night talk show host would throw one of their little postcards, yeah. I just threw mine.
Yeah.
So I'm Colbert now.
Yeah. Well,
rest in peace.
Yeah, we missed that guy. Do you want me to answer because I know the answer?
Well, I think we've given them enough time to sit on.
Okay.
What is the answer?
What the middle one is not real. Mango. What was it? Mango.
Wait, I guess I didn't ask you what answer to give. Which one is the DKU character? Because that's what this podcast is about.
Mingy Jongo.
Sure.
True.
And for bonus extra credit points, which one is the band?
Mungo Jerry.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Good job. Let's talk about Sea of Thieves.
All right, great. Happy about that. Yeah, so, oh God. So just going into this season, I was not that enthused because, Jeff, I'm not the PvP guy. I'm not the pew, pew, pew. Shooty, shoot, you're dead, haha, I am superior. I have nothing to prove. I am a lover, not a fighter. That's why I go to hotels. And I just don't care, right? Like, I'm not so concerned about my PP size. So, a whole Reaper season, it's fine for those who love the PvP, which I realize those people have Rare's ear more than anyone because they are the big time streamers who play this game 7 days a week. They love to do the hourglass battles. They love to constantly fight and attack other crews. And, to be fair to this season, this does add voyages to the Reaper's Bones, so it gives people a way to engage with the Reapers that doesn't necessarily entail PvP. So perhaps I'm being hypocritical. Perhaps I need to get off my high horse. Perhaps I need to just accept that people like things I don't like. So, yeah, that being said, the whole theming of this season, as much as the theming of season 15 appealed to me, this just really did nothing for me at the outset.
Yeah. So what was there at the outset? There was a new voyage. This was the first voyage added to the game for the Reaper's Heart, Reaper's Bones. Which is
you keep
it?
saying
It's
Reaper's Heart.
Bones
Reaper's Heart are like those
Where
pets.
does Reaper's Heart come from?
Those are those pets.
Oh, the Reaper's Heart pets, parrots, and stuff. Never mind. Sorry. It's a Reaper's Bones trading company. How could I possibly get terms confused in Sea of Thieves? That's wild. No, there's new voyages. It's the first time as a member of the Reaper's Bones trading company that you can go on a voyage where the game will give you essentially a PvE objective. Go do a thing for us and come back. But there's still a PvP element to it because whenever you're on one of these voyages, it will automatically equip the Reaper's Mark flag, which marks you on the map of all other players. So there's that, and we'll talk about those voyages that came in this season. There was one of them at the outset in the first month. Another voyage came later in the season. We'll get to that too. The other thing that came with it is just some overall tools and additions to the sandbox of Sea of Thieves that can affect everybody. Even if you're not doing these voyages, even if you're not playing as a Reaper's Bones player, you can run into these tools. So I think we'll talk about the tools first, then we'll get into the other bullshit.
Right. the other crap.
That other garbage. No, it's not garbage. It's fine. There was a couple of cool tools. And Hyle, you talked about how the season didn't really land for you in all the ways, but I like these tools. So let's get into them, especially the second one. But before you get to your second, you have to have your first. It's like a medicine.
It's like the pudding.
The Cannon of Rage.
Putting in the meat.
It's like you gotta have been the pudding in the meat.
Or the absence of meat.
That's a 70s. That's a 70s band joke reference. We get that.
Although the album was from the early 80s, Jeff.
Was it really?
Yeah, The Wall.
God damn.
Right. Was The Wall the early 80s or was that the tail end of the 70s? Now I don't know.
Right,
the movie was the early 80s.
What year The Wall? What year The Wall? 1979, you plebeian. November 30th.
Oh.
November 30th, 1979.
Barely.
All right.
Barely. But the movie came out early 80s, so
82.
I refuse to admit I was wrong.
And the wall and the Berlin Wall fell in 1989.
That's
so
right.
That's
David
even more
Hasselhoff
80s.
tore that down.
He sure did. So, Cannons of Rage. This is a new feature. It's the first time you can have a cannon in Sea of Thieves. A cannon, all about it. And but these are the first ones that are portable. You find it, you take it. Take it wherever you want.
Jeff, wasn't this an idea you had way back when?
I've had every idea they've ever done.
Okay, all right.
I'm way ahead of them. Just write that down. So the portable cannon, you can deploy it anywhere and shoot from any angle. Put it on any spot. You can put it on the very front of your ship and shoot forwards. Put it on the very back of your ship and shoot backwards. Put it on any spot on any island and shoot anything. Skeletons, sirens, shark, your friend, Hyle. It doesn't matter. Shoot them all. But there's a catch. Because the Cannon of Rage operates similarly to the Chest of Rage, which was added back in early 2019 in Sea of Thieves. The Chest of Rage is a special chest that every so often likes to explode with fire.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Cannon of Rage will do the same, but it will heat up if you use it, or if you punch it, shoot it, stab it, blow it up.
Bop it, yeah.
Like the toy.
Like the toy.
From the 80s.
Or the 90s is when I remember it. But yeah, it's like useful to have, but also very dangerous to keep on your ship, because if it does get stricken with cannonballs from an opposing ship or whatever, it can explode and then set your ship on fire. And as we both know, ship on fire can be one of the worst outcomes in a battle, because it can be the deciding factor in you having control of the situation versus you just absolutely losing the plot. And if your ship is on fire, chances are you're on fire, and it's not going to resolve itself. You have to put out the fire, and then if another crew is attacking you, you've got just a dozen things to manage, and you will probably sink at that point.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how fire is one of those interesting mechanics in Sea of Thieves, because it really tests your ability to manage and spin multiple plates, because it's an exponential problem. It's a problem that you know you can get away with ignoring for a while. But how long should you ignore it? Because it gets worse and worse. Now, what's fascinating with this explosion, as with any big explosion in Sea of Thieves, it's like a shortcut to the worst fire. Like, you're not starting out small and growing the fire. You're blowing up and getting mega big time fire. Minis. Mitchell Wolf is in our live stream chat and says that the big thing about Sea of Thieves is that they should make a trinket for your ship that is a playable jetpack arcade machine, like in Donkey Kong 64. This is my thing about it.
Okay, Mitchell. Well, the thing is, Jetpack wasn't an arcade game.
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Go back to the drawing board, Mitchell.
He's a good kid. Lacks discipline. The portal. So this Cannon of Rage, yeah, it's cool. You can use it anywhere, but then it becomes another thing to manage because you're thinking like, how much can I use it before it's going to blow up? You can let it cool down just by, leaving it be. Mm-hmm. Just let the cool breeze cool it down, or you can cool it down even faster if you splash some water on it. So then it becomes almost like, all right, well, if I'm going to be using this thing a lot, I kind of want to keep some water on me. And then, of course, inevitably, if you keep water in your bucket, then the next time you need to bail water, you'll accidentally dump water right into your ship, and that's funny stuff. And then enemy crews can attack it and force it to blow up. It's just a whole lot to manage.
Yeah, I haven't used it to the fullest extent. We've tried. Like, we brought it on our ship. We've put it at the very front, so we would have a forward-facing cannon, or the back. But it's just one of those things where I haven't had much occasion to really experience it at its full capacity. And more often than not, it's just been a nuisance. It's blown up, or somebody's forgotten the fact that it will get angrier the more you use it. And so it's inadvertently exploded on us, and then it explodes, and you can't use it. It's gone. It's just blown to smithereens. So I don't know. Like, there's also the fact that more often than not, we just leave them because they don't sell for much. So you can sell them, but you don't get a whole lot of gold for it. So unless you're using it in battle and you are prepared to manage it, there's just not a whole lot of reason to bring it on your ship.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's also cool in that it provides some cool traversal opportunities because you can take it anywhere, and now at any point on any place, you have the ability to launch yourself out of a cannon. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool, especially for some of those little obscure challenges throughout the game of like landing on the skeleton throne that's up on the peak or whatever. There's a handful of these things in the game to do that with, and having a portable cannon you could just put anywhere helps with that. That's interesting. It should be noted, where can you find these? They're guaranteed to be found in skeleton forts. So if you want a Cannon of Rage, you go do a skeleton fort, and it doesn't count if you go on a raid voyage where you dive to a skeleton fort on behalf of a trading company. Those don't count. You have to find an emergent skeleton fort, a raid, a world event, whether it's a skeleton fort, a fort of the damned, or a fort of fortune. And then you can find one in there. You also can find them emergently inside of sea forts or washed up on beaches, but they're very uncommon in that way. So you have a guaranteed way to get it. Otherwise, it's kind of a rare treat. That's, for me, the sweet spot for any of these cool features is like, I want there to be a guaranteed way to get it. I don't necessarily want that to be like easy or totally thoughtless. Like some of those voyages where they're like, go dig up an Ashen Key right on the outpost and it takes 5 seconds.
Right.
I don't necessarily want that simple. I don't want, because that's trivial. But I want there to be a guaranteed way to get the stuff, but I want it also to have a chance of popping up emergently through your sessions.
Yeah.
And it does.
I found it plenty of times just on the beach, on an island, and like I said, if it was maybe less emergent, I feel like it would feel like a far bigger deal, but I feel like I've found one on nearly every session I've had since it's been added to the game.
I'm not sure if I played any sessions since it got added to the game. That's not true. But the next cool tool feature, ambient addition to the sandbox that we all experience, even when we're not playing as the Reapers. This is the big one, right?
Yeah.
This is the one that we love. There are new emergent skeleton mercenaries that you can discover along the beaches of the Sea of Thieves, buried anywhere in the dirt, in the sand. You can find a skeleton sticking up out of the sand that you can then dig up and revive it, and it becomes a living fellow that swears its allegiance to help you out.
Yeah,
buddy,
it's like
a friendo.
Yeah, it's like going into a spirit Halloween and buying an animatronic, and that animatronic is then subservient to you and your kind.
And it never shuts up about its freaking story. You're like, all right, guy, you have 4 paragraphs? Every trick-or-treater is going to hear 4 paragraphs?
I feel like the spirit Halloween animatronic writers are paid by the word.
Yeah. There's some sort of like inflation of words where like each time they try to outdo their last one, they just have to add more. They think that's what's outdoing. I don't know.
Yeah, because
they're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, if anything is scary, it's providing context for the monsters.
Right. That's what we love. We want to know all of it. About Gumpo the Clown or whatever. So
wait, is that a DKU character or a classic rock band?
It's the one I made up.
It's
Sorry.
The Decoy. I got that one wrong.
The rock band was called Gumpy, not Gumpo. So yeah, these are cool. We love these. Having a skeleton friend is actually cool. Everything we're going to say in this episode is a little bit jaded. This is not jaded. These are cool. We like these.
This is the best feature of the season, in my opinion, because we love sidekicks in the DKU. We love tag-alongs who follow behind you and are there through thick and thin, and that's what this provides. We always have the running joke on our Sea of Thieves streams, DK Vine's Stream of Thieves. Skeleton Beach Party, right? That was one of the best streams we ever did, where we just went on this tear about the concept of Skeleton Beach Party. Like, imagine this Skeleton Beach Party like a 60s teen movie, but it's about a bunch of skeletons, and the flesh melts off the humans.
A cursed batch of Dr. Pepper beverage,
right. And
that makes your skin fall off.
But it sounds horrific, but in actuality, it's liberating because the skin is what's holding you back from being a party animal, it turns out. So anyway.
Yeah. Once the skin stops dampening the desires of your bones, you find your way to the beach with like a cooler and a Frisbee, and you just live it up.
I think it was Dustin who hit upon the refrain, go bones, go bones, go bones, go
bones, go.
Yeah. So
Skeleton Beach Party, and we're doing it now. I don't remember how it goes. But we had a whole song. We had a whole thing.
It's a great idea, and we still need to sell the shirt. But the thing is about Skeleton Beach Party is most of the skeletons in Sea of Thieves will attack you, so it kind of dampens the want to frolic with skeletons when they're just going to swing swords at you or fire their little pistols at you. This actually enables a Skeleton Beach Party.
Yeah, and we've been having them. That's all we've been doing mostly. The thing about the skeletons is they'll follow you around, as they should, and you can make them carry stuff. If you hold out treasure, they'll carry it, or gunpowders.
Or pigs.
Which is fun.
You can put a pig in a crate and then have that skeleton carry a pig, and it's delightful.
Yeah. What's not to love? If you go to dig up a treasure, the skeleton will start digging it also and help you. If you get into a fight with anything that is aggressive towards you, like another skeleton or a siren or a phantom or another player, the skeleton will fight on your behalf. It will die. You can revive it just like a teammate, although it swears its allegiance to whoever revives it, which means that the enemy that kills you, an enemy player, could revive your skeleton, and now it's his skeleton.
You know, on
Which is
one hand, I'm
heartbreaking.
like, fickle much? But on the other hand, it's nice that people can change their views and evolve with the times, and they're not just so rigid and, like, oh, I am loyal to this crew and that is my team. It's like, no, well, what has this crew done for me lately?
Yeah, it's well, whoever just most recently saved your life, that's who you owe a debt to.
But I think the biggest game changer. So I'm adequate at digging up X's on maps, but I'm not great at it. I have problems sometimes really figuring out, especially on the bigger islands, especially inland. I'm like, where is this X? Where is this treasure chest? Where is this trinket that I'm looking for? Ugh. But if you dig up a skeleton friend and you show them your map, they'll be like, I know exactly where that is. Follow me. And they will take you to the spot.
Now, the big restriction on these fellows is that they are bound to the island in which they are found. They will not swim. They will not board your ship. They will help you out for as long as you're on that island, and then it's it's Aloha on a steel guitar.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always sad whenever you say goodbye to your skeletons because they'll follow you on the beach. And it's like, can we come with you? And it's like, no, buddy, you've got to stay here. And they just look and they start to get in the water. And you're like, no, stay there. Stay, boy. Stay. And then with a tear in your eye, you turn around and board your ship. And you don't look back. You don't look back. Never look back.
No, you've made me sad.
Yeah, I know.
I think that the only way to cheer me up is another trivia.
Oh my God. I'm ready.
Okay. Before we get into the bones of the episode, we have one more trivia. All right. So one of these is a DKU character. One of them is a 60s or 70s rock band. One of them is made up.
Jeff, I feel like I've prepped for this my entire life. It's all been building up to this moment.
Yeah, you're lucky that there's a friend in your life who will cater a challenge only directly to you. There's no one in the world who would do this with me but you. So here we go. We got the three.
Cameron quietly has the same fetishes as we do. But
yeah, Cameron would have fun with this.
Yeah.
But I think you're the only one who will know it well enough that it's entirely trivial and meaningless, which is great. It's what we want, probably. So, here are the three things. We have jam jars, ram jam, jib jab. Think about that, audience. Which one of those is which? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, God.
Give it a couple seconds. Hyle's thinking it over. All right, Hyle, what is it? Which one is a DKU character? Is it Jam Jars, Ram Jam, or Jib Jab?
Well, Jam Jars is the DKU character, obviously.
That's true. Cool.
Yeah.
Which one is the other one?
Oh, God. I want to say... God, I could go either. Jib Jab? Is Jib Jab anything?
You don't. No. Do you not know Ram Jam?
I don't know Ram Jam.
Ram Jam sings Black Betty.
Oh my God! I thought I was
yes.
like Ram Jam sounds like a Viva Pinata rhinoceros.
Yeah. Whoa, Black Betty, bam a lamb. Whoa, okay. Black Betty, bam a lamb. That's it.
I don't like that song. That's the thing, Jeff.
You don't like that?
It never did.
But she's from Birmingham, Bamba Lamb, way down in Alabama. Bamba Lamb?
No, I'm
Come
sorry.
on, man.
That's too
fine.
Southern rock for me. And I can do like some Southern rock, like Atlanta Rhythm Section, maybe.
Oh, we love it.
Yeah.
Of course. But Ram Jam, late 70s. All right. Well, I'm excited that some of mine might not be so obvious. Although I think the DKU character will always be obvious.
I mean, unless it's something from Viva Pinata, like season 2, episode 8 or something, then it might have trouble. But
yeah, I think they're all going to be pretty straightforward. So now, finally, we're going to get into the bones of this episode.
Okay.
Because I would say probably the headlining feature of the season isn't the Skeleton Friends, even though they're the best feature.
It's the best, absolutely.
It is the new voyages you can take on with the Reaper's Bones. And this season launched, the first month of it launched with one of these voyages called the Search for Ancient Secrets Voyage.
Yes. Yeah, so finally Reapers have a voyage for themselves. You don't necessarily need to just scrounge for treasure or attack other ships or whatever. You can just go on this Reapers themed quest. Like you're going on a little mission for Flameheart. Like, ooh, look at me, like a little soldier doing evil deeds. Now, because of that, though, these are only available in high seas. The Reaper theming means you can't play this in safer seas like a lot of the other voyages for the other trading companies, because then that would be cheesing it, because the risk reward is still there. As you said, it automatically equips the Reaper's mark on your ship, marking you on the map. There's no way to get around that.
Right. Yeah, that is just a thin veneer of flavoring to make it, to spice it up and say that it's a Reaper voyage. I felt like maybe when this first launched, there was a chance that people are going to try and chase you down and fight you over these. But as with many features in Sea of Thieves that sort of try to encourage PvP, after a while, you could just go and do this and nobody's going to bother you. Nobody's going to care about this. They're not going to fight you over this.
Ironically, it's Season 17, the smuggler stuff, that has encouraged far more PvP than any of this stuff in the Reaper season.
Yeah, I wonder, and we'll talk about that when we talk about that, but Season 17, I wonder if channeling you to specific section of the sea, specific islands, maybe they should have done that with this voyage, because that's part of what they are doing with the smugglers.
Yeah.
So you kind of know where people are hanging out doing this. They're always at the same islands. They didn't do that with this. You go on a voyage. So what is this voyage? The voyage, actually, surprisingly, it's very, I'm not going to say it's not lore heavy, but it's very sort of cinematic in what it is. It feels almost like an adventure.
Well, I feel like this is, at least the core conceit of it is kind of borrowed from one of the adventures, if memory serves me right. Like, this felt very familiar, like the thing rising out of the pillar and the ancient spirits and what have you.
Right. So the lore of this, where does this come from? What is going on in the story of Sea of Thieves? LOL.
Yeah.
It is after the Burning Blade event. The Burning Blade world event saw Flameheart's forces going to different ancient temples that they were excavating from deep in the earth, and they were finding orbs of secrets, and they were bringing them back to Flameheart so he could find ancient knowledge. And that was the last we heard of it until now, because he now has that ancient knowledge, and the knowledge is the locations of some of these mysterious sarcophagi of ancient disciples of magic or whatever, these ancients. And so he's sending you out as a member of the Reaper's Bones Trading Company. He says, I'll send you on a voyage. You go dig this up for me. And that's not all, because that's not enough. He says that, you're not enough on your own to undertake this mission. I'm going to need you to dig up some skeletons that are friends of mine, that are known as the Order of Bone and Blade Skeletons. And these are sort of described as Flameheart's top-level Mission Impossible team. Yeah, they're like the SEAL Team 6, right? Of Flameheart, maybe?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Like, your Tom Cruise's, your...
Which just begs the question why he never needed them before now.
Yeah. Your 007s, if you will.
All right. He says, yeah, okay, well, we're going to send the top of the top team on this, so go dig them up and they'll help you. So what do you do on this voyage? You get a map, you go to an island, you need to you need to find Contact. Contact is a new character named Contact. He's a parrot. I named him Contact.
It's your contact on the islands, your Reaper's contact, which is a Reaper's heart parrot.
It could. There's no way to know what they mean. Maybe his name is Contact, but you find him, and then you'll be able to dig up a chest of bones, which is like a Reaper's chest, but sort of weaker, sort of the uncle to the Reaper's chest dad. You break the seal, and a bunch of skeletons will arrive. The Order of Bone and Blade skeletons. They will be your skeleton friends. Much like we discussed before, these ones will be your friends. You'll have a whole gaggle of them. What's the term for like a murder of skeletons?
A boneyard of skeletons.
A tambourine of skeletons.
A closet of skeletons.
Hey, I like that. A closet of skeletons. We'll go with that. A steel guitar. No, a closet. So you get your skeletons. You get a map. The map is going to show you 3 locations that you need to go find on the island. And they're basically like snapshots. Here's a picture of a spot. Find that spot on this island. You need to use the clues of the visual landmarks that you see in it, along with some little scribbled notes in the margins on the map, to go find those spots, to know where to dig up these pillars, and then you're on your way.
Yeah.
And then you dig them up. Well, you dig up the pillars. The skeletons will help you dig them up, and then you start getting attacked by ancient phantoms of the ancient civilization in the Sea of Thieves. And they are warriors that are going to try and stop you because you're trying to dig up their stuff. But you need to break the seal on the pillar by turning a wheel that is functionally the same as raising a capstan. And your skeletons will help you. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do all that. You do that 3 times. Like everything, you got to do it 3 times, and then you dig up a sarcophagus, you get a magic skull, and then that's it, right?
Yeah, I believe that is it. I've done it like twice in the game. So, and that was months ago. So, I do remember getting attacked by ancient phantoms time and time again, just swarmed by them. And that's my biggest memory of it, is just getting stabbed repeatedly.
Yeah, I mean, this game often has it. I don't know if I'd call it an issue, but they don't always perfectly balance the spawn rates of just like ambient enemies on a quest. It's like, okay, there should be a section of this quest where this is the moment where we get attacked. And when we clear that, maybe that should be it. Mm-hmm. But then a lot of times they'll be like, no, let's just have them spawn infinitely while you're trying to do something else. And they just keep coming. And they're not really a challenge. They're just an annoyance.
It's a swarm. They never stop. It's right. It's like a swarm of mosquitoes, and it is manageable. They come in waves, and, if you have a crew, whatever, but it just feels very monotonous when they come, because you're we have to do, like, I don't know. I didn't find it that engaging. Like, I liked the aspects of it. Like, I liked, the Order of Bone and Blade. I liked the columns, pillars, whatever, rising up from the islands. But I don't know, just the stop and swipe at the phantoms aspect of it kind of got old.
Yeah. It should be pointed out, once you dig up the sarcophagus and find the skeleton inside, it's a pretty cool looking golden, sort of mysterious character in there, and you remove the skull. It's a skull of the banished, a new treasure item, very valuable. And Hyle, you and I played the game recently together, and we saw a Reaper sailing around somewhere with some weird symbol on their ship, and we couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah,
that symbol is they have a skull of the banished on board. A skull of the banished always marks that itself on the map until it is sold. And it sells for over like 12,000 gold, so it's a very valuable item. But
Sure.
it's marked on the map. It makes you. That's another element of the PvP nature of this voyage. Is that treasure, the main treasure of it, is marked on the map. Although there are extra treasures, because while your Order of Bone and Blade skeletons are helping you dig up the pillars, they will also just dig random spots where they happen to know to discover Reaper's treasures. They find them. So you get some ambient treasures added in. But most importantly, the fucking map needs a goddamn key for all these symbols. I don't know what these symbols are. They show me some little skull with stripes on it. I don't know what that means. And maps, I know this, Hyle, from school. I know this all the way from back in school, that maps tend to have a legend or a key for all of its symbols.
Yeah.
And this one don't have that.
It doesn't, and it's become a real problem. You know, when the game launched in 2018, they didn't have symbols on the maps. Then they slowly added one or two, and you're like, okay, well, you can learn what that is fairly quickly. But now there are like a dozen or more different symbols that can appear on the map. And there's nothing to clue you in. Even those of us who have been playing the game since 2018, granted, we don't play every single day like the streamers who probably have Rear's ear more than anybody. But it's like we jump into the game and we're like, wait, what's that symbol on that map? We don't know. We don't know what this means with this symbol over this ship. Do we need to be worried about this? And yeah, it would be handy, even if it's not something that's permanently on the map, it's just something you could pull up, maybe. It would be nice to have. Nice information.
Yeah. So get on that.
And also add Captain Blackeye on one island in the game. It sells you Leaky the Bucket and a Viva Pinata shovel.
And TT the stopwatch.
And TT the stopwatch, of course. But, you know, I feel like...
And Spinal is a boss fight.
Spinal is a boss fight. I feel like they stopped listening to me when I bring up TT, so I'm not going to lead with that anymore. I'm kind of going to bury that in the back matter.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I don't think they even listen to the podcasts.
No.
I think, you know...
They've deleted DK Vine from their bookmarks.
I scared them off with my scary things every week.
You did. Honestly, they're probably hiding under the covers, really, still.
Yeah, that's true.
So
before we get into the... God, how long is this episode going to be? Before we get into the second month of... See, okay, we're already 1/3 done with this season, and we've talked about the main stuff, so we're going to breeze through the rest. The second month is very short, but we can't talk about it yet until we hear a trivia questionnaire.
Oh.
Hyle, here it comes.
I'm worried now.
I'm really actually uplifted by the fact that you didn't get Ram Jam, because it means that these aren't just stupidly obvious.
1 for 1. I'm scared. You're scaring me with your DKU trivia
character. You just didn't get the bonus question. You got the DKU character. So, all right. And this is for the audience too. By the way, if you're in the audience and you hear the question and you really want to think on it, listen to it and then just pause it and then think on it for a while, so that way we don't spoil it for you, don't answer it to you. You have that power. Unless you're listening to it live on our Patreon. You can join us at dkvine.com/Patreon. You listen to these live, and you won't be able to pause them.
No,
so,
but shout it out. Shout it out if you know the answer. I'm not looking at the chat.
So, he's not looking at my sticky notes either. Here they go. One of these is a DKU character, one's the band, one is made up. Here they are. Captain Beefheart, Captain Scurvy, Captain Clawfoot.
All right. Now, So, Captain Scurvy, I think, is the DKU character you're referring, although I think in the actual files, he's like Captain Greenbeard or something stupid like that. But you're talking about the crab from Donkey Kong Country Returns, right?
I am, and I've never heard this Greenbeard business.
Yeah, it
sounds nefarious.
It's dumb, and like the names of the Tiki Priest are extra dumb. It's like, like Kalimba is crazy Kalimba. I'm not going to acknowledge that.
You got that one right. I think you're gonna go 100 for 100 on.
Oh yeah,
DKU characters.
I know my captains, Jeff. I know. Captain Beefheart is the '60s artist. They've got the trout mask, which should be in Sea of Thieves, by the way. A replica
I agree.
at the very least.
That could have been in the Hunter's Call season, but all right, there you have it, folks. Captain Beefheart is a band.
It is.
And in the second month of season 16 of Sea of Thieves, which launched on June 19th, 2025, there wasn't a whole lot in that month, but the main big thing was the ability to unseal Reaper's. Excuse me. God, I had a Budweiser Zero as we were recording, and my Budweiser Zero is making me burp louder. Unsealable Reaper's chests. You can unseal them. And then you can essentially create a closet of skeleton friends on demand, anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want. So this is a treat, because not only can you take these to any island and just have an instantaneous skeleton beach party, but you can also have them on your ship if you want. You can have it on another cruise ship. Surprise, skeletons. Surprise, skeleton yacht party. You don't want that.
Ooh.
If the skeletons are going to attack you.
We're done with the tailgate party. We're going to the sailgate party. We're bringing it on the waves.
Now, these skeletons do not last forever, though. All good things must come to an end.
Yeah. Unlike your Order of Bone and Blade skeletons, unlike your emergently discovered mercenary skeleton that comes as a lone boy, those ones can be revived when they die. The unsealable Reaper's chest instead will spawn you a wave of allies, and when they die, they're not revivable, but the chest will spawn a new one. So it's mechanically different. Instead of the same guy being revived, it's like that guy's dead, we'll spawn you a new guy, but you only get a certain amount of spawns. You only get a certain number. And the amount that can spawn at any given time are dependent on the size of your crew, the size of your ship. If you're on a sloop, they're only going to spawn a couple. If you're on a galleon, they'll spawn up to 4 now, I think. And then if you're on an island, they'll only spawn like 6. And you only get so many spawns until essentially it runs out of juice. It's sort of like reincarnation in real life. I don't know if everyone knows this. I know how the universe works, and you get exactly 20 spawns. That's metaphysics. It's factual, though. Yeah. So, good luck. And yeah, I like these. These are really cool. It's the versatility of it, the fact that you open it on your ship and you've got some buddies that spawn out. And then you grab it, you take it to shore, and it spawns some more. But then you go back to your ship and you're, oh, wait a minute, they're still here. You still have them. They're in both places. They're spawned. They didn't just despawn. And that's cool. You've got them wherever you take them. And then, you said that you could take it even on an enemy ship. And then as long as they're killing the skeletons keep respawning, and they're a nuisance. But that adds a little strategy, because it's like, oh, yikes. Somebody put a chest on my ship that's spawning skeletons. I should pick it up and throw it off the ship. I should get rid of it. Because you can do that, and then they stop spawning on your ship. That's part of that strategy. So, very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not turning up my nose at anything that adds more versatility to the sandbox. I think, well, we'll talk about it at the end of the episode. It's all in the way a lot of this stuff is executed that just feels weightless to me. I mean, this stuff is great, and I love skeletons on ships. I love skeletons on demand. I've mentioned before when they added the bone callers, the little throwable orbs that spawn skeletons for a limited time. Back when I played the sort of the test build of Sea of Thieves, which is made in Unity. It's where they really experimented with ideas before implementing them into the main game. And one of the things that I saw in there that wasn't in the main game for the longest time was deploying skeletons for your personal whims and merriment. And I always wanted that into the game. So when they added the bone colors, it was like, we're finally getting there. And this is just even better than bone colors because they have a greater degree of permanence. I mean, they're not there forever, but they will last longer so long as the juice is flowing within the chest. You will have skeleton backups. So the amount of stuff you can do with it, they're harder to deploy. Like you said, putting this on another player's ship, it's far easier just to shoot a bone collar at the other crew's ship, and then they've got skeletons. But those skeletons will not last, but both in length of time and if they're defeated, well, they're just gone.
That's right. Yeah. So I agree with everything you said. It's like it's a fun feature having skeletons around. This is just a new, different way to use them. It has benefits, pros and cons to it. But more on top of that, it also adds a lot more thought into the Reaper's chest item that was already in the game. Before, you see the little swirly thing on the horizon that says, hey, there's a sunken ship over here with a Reaper's chest. And you're like, well, do I want to go for that? Because the only purpose of that is it's a valuable treasure that I can only sell to the Reaper's bones, but while doing so, I will be a target of the Reaper's bones. I'll be on everyone's map, and people will see, not just on the map, but they'll see the beam of light, the pillars of swirling light to show that I'm there. It's like, okay, well, do I want to go for a treasure that's high risk? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Now, it has multiple utility because it's not just a treasure, it's also a source of skeletons. And that's really cool. That's cool recontextualizing a present feature to add a whole new angle to it.
Now, I am not one of those people who have sold so many of these that I've maxed out the commendation, number go up, smiley face. But I know there are probably lots of people who have done that. And so this also gives them a new reason to seek those out, because what's the point other than gold? And if they've maxed out the commendation for this, they probably have enough gold already. So it does sort of reinvigorate this aspect, this collectible in the game, and you can then deploy it as a weapon. So, yeah, I think it's really clever, and it does add context to what the hell are these chests. Why? In universe, what is the purpose behind this? Why are we selling it to the Reapers? Well, it's a source of skeletons.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. So that was really all we have to say about the second month, the month of
July.
Latter half of June, early half of July.
Yeah. Yeah. Into June 19th to July 17th.
Right. That's essentially all we have to say about that. Checking in on our live stream, and they didn't say anything. Me Muppet posted a bunch of dancing Mr. Pantses. So,
oh yeah, that's another rareware thing you could have in the game. You could have explicit Mr. Pants underwear and maybe a little bowler hat.
Or a rare cow.
A rare. Yeah.
That's something. A rare cowbell.
Break out the bell.
If you don't fear the Reaper. So yeah, we got another trivia question before we go on to the third and final month of season 16 of Sea of Thieves. Are you ready, Hyle?
I'm 2 for 3, so I feel like I am trending towards victory.
I think this one will be easy for you, but we'll see. Maybe it'll amuse the audience. Here are the 3. There is Carl and Quentin, Chris and Thomas, Chad and Jeremy.
All right. Well, Carl and Quentin, DKU characters, obviously.
Yeah, they're from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Carl is pretty problematic, just like Bing Crosby. We don't like that guy.
We don't endorse the audio. We don't endorse the characters or the bands necessarily. We're just pointing out they exist. We're Wikipedians.
The band Chad and Jeremy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
And look at me go.
That was an easy one.
I have two areas of hyperfixation. What can I say? Except Ram Jam.
Love it.
Ram Jam eluded me.
Yeah, you got Captain Beefheart and not Ram Jam. That really impressed me, but I'm glad it worked out.
Captain Beefheart is the main antagonist of the Hunter's Call. Think about it, Rare.
Think about it. That's the full name of the Ruby Splashtail Monarch. So I just threw my that postcard away. My, what do you call that thing?
Post-it note.
Threw that
Sticky
note
note.
card away. No, but it's like on the talk show.
Yeah.
Like a little blue note card, and it's Jimmy Kimmel's. All right. The third month of season 16 of Sea of Thieves, here on season 13 of the Kongversation podcast with Hyle and me, launched on July 17th. Nothing else happened that day. Nothing of note.
I know. I was like, yeah, this season introduced a lot of cool things. It just felt weightless to me. And again, is that really Sea of Thieves' fault? Or is it the fact that the third month of this season launched the exact same day my friend Jeff had his wisdom teeth pulled out? I was so worried about you, Jeff.
Yeah, you kept texting me, and I didn't have my phone on me. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I got my wisdom teeth out. I was vaguely aware that Sea of Thieves had updated, and also a little video game had come out on the Nintendo Switch 2 family of consoles called Donkey Kong Bananza.
Mm-hmm.
And we look back on that day finally because Donkey Kong is on it.
Yeah, and it turned out that was actually a very good game.
So far.
Yeah, we'll see how Donkey Kong Bananza does when it has its season 16. If we'll be like, oh.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're right. Sea of Thieves' score is not as high as it once was. So Bananza, you never know. Hold in there. I heard there's going to be events. Somebody told me there's going to be events. So we'll find out. They did add another voyage to, again, the Reaper's Bones Trading Company, called the Followers of the Flame.
Blank of the blank. You just
blank of the blank.
It's
That's
so
the
easy.
Sea of Thieves thing.
It's like magnetic poetry. Those things that were popular in college dorms in the aughts.
Yeah, it does feel like if they wanted to make a Sea of Thieves board game, like a party game, like you'd buy it in a Target, and it would just be like a fill in the blank Mad Libs game of like blank of the blank, and it would suck. I'd give it a 4 out of 10, and then set it on fire.
You would make it of the flame.
Hey, so Followers of the Flame is the name of the voyage. And it is the triumphant return of Contact, the new character of this season, a Reaper's Heart bird who you have to talk to on the island. You get a map that'll tell you where to go to the island, find the Contact, and then from there you will get an enchanted lantern, otherwise known as an enchantern.
Yeah. Now,
to save time.
Because this feature was added the day Donkey Kong Bananza came out, and then lots of things happened, like I got COVID, and I was pretty much like out of commission, or out of my normal faculties for a month. And Jeff was busy being a sweet summer child, enjoying all of the sweet, ripe fruits that the summer months provide him. We did not play this new voyage until yesterday. Jeff and I hopped on Sea of Thieves because we were like, we can't talk about this until we experience it. So we took 30 minutes out of our day and we played this off stream just to experience it. So this is actually fresh in our mind.
Fresh as hell.
Yeah.
This is a Subway sandwich.
Oh God, Jeff. Jeff.
But eat fresh is their slogan. I didn't come up with it.
I can smell the bread. Just, no offense, because maybe that's why you like Subway, because you don't have a sense of smell. But
I don't.
There is something pungent about the aroma of Subway bread, and I just
even the Italian urban cheese.
Especially, I just can't even walk into a Subway anymore without feeling revulsion.
I don't eat there anymore either. They used to have a $5 foot long. It was wonderful. Everyone in the world was essentially at peace. Progress was moving forward with the species and everything. And then now, look at where we are. They have like a $7.99 foot long, but only if you order in the app, and only the sub of the day. And it's like, this is why all the politics are bad.
I mean, to be fair, Jeff, it's only risen in price because of tariffs. They ship them over every morning from Singapore.
Hold on. I'm putting together the joke, but I forgot what it was. It's Microsoft Solitaire-ifs? Okay, coming back.
Ouch.
Remember Solitaire?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember what it was. Fine. There's a voyage. You get this magic lantern, Hyle. It's very fresh on our minds. What does it do? Tell me about it.
Oh, it beats like a heart.
Same. Yeah, it's poetry, but it literally does. It's not poetry at all. The lantern, you raise it up. It's got a red light, and you'll hear the thumping of a heartbeat. And then if you get closer to where you ought to be going, it will heartbeat faster.
Yeah, you have to turn on the red light, unlike Roxanne, which is a little reference to an '80s band called The Police.
Yes. And as you go, your heart beats faster, like when you're trying to think of your grandmother to prevent an erection, but your grandmother happens to be hot.
That's right. Just like Wrinkly Kong in Donkey Kong Country 3. You know, she's doing the aerobics and just like...
Wood.
Yeah.
So, Kilf? A Kong I'd like... okay, so all right. Poppy is that one now, so... Or Grumpy, whatever you're into.
Whatever you're into, Boyd.
It's fine, it's fine.
Your butthole.
What? What a phrase.
He's little.
All right,
so grease him up and it'll go right up there.
Butthole-sized. So you follow this lantern heartbeat, and you will find... Well, speaking of butthole, Hyle, you'll find a crack in the ground, in the sand and the dirt. And this crack, we kept calling it the butthole. We found it, and I was like, whoa, look, the island has a butthole.
The anus of the beach.
And we dug it up. The anus of the beach, as it's known. The blank of the blank, in classic Sea of Thieves fashion.
Rare, you can have that one for free. I know you're not listening to this podcast anymore.
Season 27, the anus of the beach. So you dig up that spot, you get a bone and blade skeleton. And that guy will lead you to a Reaper's treasure that happens to be no less than 3 steps away. It's honestly insulting that the voyage has this incredible mechanism to make you find where the skeleton is buried, and then the skeleton says, yeah, by the way, within 3 feet of here is where the treasure is buried. It's nonsense.
Yeah. I don't know if that was just bad RNG on our end, or if that's just the way they all are, because we've only done this once.
That's true.
Like, we did not Sea of Science this, as they say. We did not really try to test this out in the many varieties it comes.
And the treasure that he digs up, that the skeleton digs up, is not what you're after. It's like a bonus. It's just, hey, by the way, you found me, I'll dig up a treasure for you, and then you have one. But it's not what we're looking for, because you keep following that magical lantern, you keep following the sound of its heartbeat, and you're going to find another bone and blade skeleton who will dig up another treasure that's within arm's reach of it. Mm-hmm. And then you do it a 3rd time, because, you know, voyages in Sea of Thieves, you got to do the thing 3 times.
It's a rule of 3.
It's
funnier that way.
Another. That's comedy. It's textbook comedy. And I should know. I wrote for SNL. I wrote in once to complain, but I said Colin Jost just fucking sucks.
Hey, Colin Jost.
Get him out of there.
Some of the Funky Kong jokes were inaccurate to the lore. Reconsider your life.
Your wife is way hotter than you. You don't deserve her.
Get out of here, man. You only deserve a little monkey up your butt in a hotel room on the 13th floor.
He's got razor sharp teeth. I don't want him in my butt. I've decided now live on air that I don't want Void Kong up in my butt.
A little bitey never hurt anyone. It just adds some spice.
Well, I think throughout history, I don't think you can say that it never hurt anyone.
Well,
it's not probably
I said
true.
A little biting. I'm not saying like full on Dracula, because I'm not afraid of Dracula. Maybe that's the problem. If I was afraid of Dracula,
you should be.
I would be like, please don't bite me anywhere down there. And because Dracula was my buddy, my long distance buddy, I'm just like, just give me a little nibble.
Do you think that Dracula eats ass? Would he go to the anus of the beach?
Yeah,
probably not.
I think wherever there's a vein,
sunshine. Dracula
will bite. So it just depends.
Right, like a vein of gold banandium. Whoa.
Well, red banandium in this case.
Hey, what? You're gonna get 3 bone and blade skeletons. They're gonna dig you up 3 little treasures. But then, most importantly, you're going to continue following the beat of the heart that's beating that delicious blood from your heart to your anus and everywhere in between. Mm-hmm. And you're going to dig up a Reaper's chest, a empty Reaper's chest, a chest of bones, as they're called, an empty one. And then you're going to tell your 3 best friends, your buddies, which we named after the Blue Oyster Cult, I think.
We did. Right? We were already on this bit yesterday. I knew what I was going to do. I mean, to be fair, I knew what I was going to do back in June. So it was
May. The season came out in May.
Oh, well, it took me a month to figure it out. But yeah, it was just bursting to come out because I was like, I haven't been able to do this joke about this season.
We're going to talk about the Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
The Blue Oyster Cult, who are the followers of the Ruby Splashtail Monarch.
Captain Beefheart.
So, what do you do? Oh, you dig up your 3 buddies, you name them after the Blue Oyster Cult, and then you tell them, get in the box. What do? They jump right up in there. Like a Void Kong into a crevasse.
Yeah, which, not having muscles or much in a way of ligaments, they are quite capable of being contortionist. I was a bit surprised.
Hey, Hyle.
Yeah.
Ligmaments. Do you know about ligma?
I do.
Oh, cool.
That's why I was laughing.
Oh, good. So, yeah, you tell them to get in the chest. They do this, and now you have the chest. Pretty cool. The voyage ends, and you are left with a chest. And also 3 treasures that they dug up along the way, which you can have. What is the chest? It's a chest of bones. A chest of bones is basically identical to a Reaper's chest. It's just not quite as good. It's sort of an uncle.
Yeah.
To the Reaper's chest dad.
It is. But
it's something you can make on demand.
Yeah. And you can then sell it to Captain Flameheart, or, you can just have it and you can use it as a weapon, even.
You can unseal it to get those guys out of there. You told them, get in there. I have this. Listen, fellas, I know we've all been on this journey together for the past 20 minutes, but I have this box. And I'd really like for the 3 of you to get inside of it. Mm-hmm. And, they listen because they're so loyal. But now you take them box-wise to any place, any world in the land, and you tell them, well, listen up, guys. Your loyalty is paid off because I'm letting you out of the box for just a while, and you can.
It's like when you're on a long car trip and you just got to stop at a rest area or a gas station to stretch your legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just eat a 7-Eleven hot dog and drink a Monster Java Irish cream flavor.
Oh, God. I'm just thinking back to my college days when I would drink those and not realizing I was lactose intolerant, have volatile diarrhea afterwards. And
you're allowed. You get
to be fair, I was wide awake for the diarrhea. None of it seeped out in sleepy time because, it did its trick. It did what it was advertised to do, which was make you alert. And boy, I was hyper aware of everything that was happening.
Maybe one time when I had the flu, but I was going to bring Dracula back into it, but I decided not to. So we're gonna not.
Thank
we're just
you.
not gonna.
No, it's probably for the best. We like Dracula.
It's all right.
We don't want to imply anything foul about anything entering Dracula's mouth when he is perhaps looking for a vein. And you've drinking one of those Java energy drinks with the coffee in it, and it's
and you're on a road trip because we've stopped for a 7-Eleven hot dog, and so presumably I'm picturing a van with like a bunch of curtains and like you've taped all the windows over with black so that Dracula doesn't get killed by the sunlight. This sounds fun.
It also sounds like what a 70s band would tour in. Like just a starting out, like a garage band. Maybe they're playing some gigs and they get in their shag
They've
wagon.
Taped all the windows. The shack wagon. It's named after Shaquille O'Neal.
No, shag wagon. Like,
yeah. Like Shaquille. Well, speaking of 70s bands, Hyle, I have a quick question for you.
Oh, boy.
It's not related to our trivia game.
Oh, no.
Just kidding, it is.
Oh! Whoa!
Whoa!
You were zigging and I was zagging and you got me.
Yeah, well, we should have been shagging, but we're not because we're not in the van. We have a trivia question, and it is this. I'm going to list the three. This one will be easy for you. You're going to like it. But the audience,
say that every time.
They'll be thinking. They're going to be thinking about it. Okay. Here they are. Okay, three things. Mega legs. Little feet. Bigafoot.
Bigafoot is a DKU character. Little Feet is the band. Mega Legs is nonsense, although, I don't know, it sounds like it could be a ZZ Top song, but it's not.
I think Mega Legs could be either a band or a DKU character. That's why it's such a great made-up choice I came up with.
It could also be an energy drink from the aughts.
Little Feet has a song called Dixie Chicken, which is about Donkey Kong Country 2 character Dixie Kong. So, enjoy. Look it up.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Look it up when you're done with this episode. Listen to the end.
Don't do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of this voyage? Was it, you and I just did it so recently. It's
so
fresh in the brain.
I liked everything about it except the phantoms, the waves of phantoms. Once again.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, everything about the skeletons is fun. I really loved the lantern. We were talking about this as it was happening. It was a really effective execution and it was a new way to find treasure. Like, we've had the various like compasses that point you to areas you have to dig up, but this was such a novel implementation of things that have already been in the game, like lanterns. But here we've got the beating of the heart, and the flame also beats, or the flame also like bursts with every beat. So you've got like different sensory inputs, for accessibility, and it was just a really, really like fun thing up until the waves of ancient phantoms attack you, and they just keep coming, and it's not even like you have a little bit of time to breathe. It's you defeat the wave of phantoms, you have 5 seconds, here are more phantoms.
Well, and what's particularly frustrating about it is that the moment when it starts to happen is you've dug up your buddies, your skeletal friendos, and the next step of it is actually that they have to lead you where they want you to follow them to. They will lead you to dig up the chest, right? So they kind of gesture at you like, hey, come hither. And you follow for about 5 seconds. But then the phantoms spawn. And as soon as they do, these guys will stop leading you where you're meant to go, and they will fight. So it's like, normally in the game, if I'm being spawn attacked by something, it doesn't stop me from what I'm trying to do. I could kind of just ignore them. I'm like, oh, I want to run over there and dig something up. I don't have to stop and fight the skeleton that just spawned. I could just run away. I could just keep going.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I can't do that because I'm waiting on my skeleton to lead me. And he leads me about 10 feet, and then the phantoms come up, and then he stops. So he's distracted, and I have to be distracted because he's distracted, and we can't get anything done until we kill these phantoms. And we do, and he's like, all right, cool, now follow me. I'm like, yeah, I was following you, let's go. And he walks another 10 steps, and it happens again. And you just do this over and over until finally it leads you to where you need to go. But the phantoms they interrupt this process, and you can't avoid it. It's not difficult. It's not challenging or stimulating. It's just busy work.
Yeah, it's like very monotonous, and I don't mind PvE encounters and enemies, but just like the ambient ones you find on islands, just like the ones you like encounter on quests, it just feels like it's a bit much. The frequency in which things spawn in the game has become excessive, especially with the introduction, it's been several years now, but of ocean crawlers, of phantoms, of sirens even. Sirens have become a nuisance lately. So it's just, I don't know, if they could tone it down by maybe 20%, I feel like it would feel a little bit more like you have momentum in this, but it was just a lot of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start.
Yeah, I think that let's say if your skeleton friends were trying to run off to get to the objective, and then you had to defend them, and you're like, okay, phantoms are coming, I need to protect my skeletons so they can go do a thing, they can like dig up the thing, and they are focused and they're going to keep trying to dig up the thing, but I just have to keep the phantoms off of them so they can do it.
Yeah,
that would be a cool challenge. But instead, it's like, oh, the skeleton needs to lead me where to go. But as soon as a phantom shows up, he gets distracted and he stops leading me, and we have to clear it. And then we get 10 feet and we do it again and we clear it. That's not fun. It's fine. It's whatever. But I did love the lantern. I loved the heartbeat thing. I mentioned to you while we were doing it that like it's such a simple like reappropriation of tech that has already been in the game. It's just another lantern. We've done many things like this, of like a thing that leads you to a spot. How do we, that sort of hot and cold mechanic. But it's just the feedback of it, the presentation of it really works, and it's just very satisfying. So big ups, kudos, etc. We like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having the ability, we just talked about how much we like. They recontextualize the Reaper's chest. You go find a Reaper's chest, and now you can use it for stuff. This now expands on that by saying, well, now you have the ability to create one on demand. It's just less powerful, less valuable, less powerful, less skeleton spawns in it, but at the benefit of it being something you can just make with like in under 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was 30 minutes from when we loaded in to when we sold it to Captain Flameheart. So it wasn't,
and we didn't, if we were just trying to speed to get to it, it could have been a lot faster. But we were also just sailing around being buddies.
Right, which is also how we produce these podcasts. It's just really a lot of aimless sailing around, metaphorically speaking, being buddies. And we could probably speed through these episodes in 20 minutes if we weren't getting distracted by all the references.
Yeah, but the main thing is the references. The Sea of Thieves stuff is the distraction. But
yeah,
we I guess that's pretty much all of the features of the season. They did some other tweaks throughout. We don't like to really get into the weeds of all the nitty gritty. I know one of the things they did is, after adding these new voyages, they later added the option to do them in the Devil's Roar with ashen variations of them. That's cool. I'm glad we have that. Other little tweaks that they made along the way, all good. They also did some events. I know there was a Golden Glory weekend. I know they did a fight night. Was it called Fight Night weekend or Fight Night, where it was double XP for Hourglass battles.
Oh, God. Yeah, so there was that, and they added these like time-limited cosmetics for the Hourglass ones. It was like you had to sink, I think, 5 ships in one weekend, and you get the Athena little trinket, and then you sink 5 ships, and you get the Reaper's trinkets. I think it was a portrait of like a slain pirate that your side would kill or whatever. I believe that's right. Or maybe I'm conflating it. There was definitely one reward, and it was the painting in the Hourglass battles, and we did not do it. We did not actually complete the objective. It's the first in-game trinket that I have missed out on, or in-game reward for these time-limited events that I've not gotten. And the reason was because the matchmaking just kept pitting us against the people who play Hourglass day in, day out, like 18 hours a day. This is all they do, on like win streaks of like 200 in one session. And we could not get matched with anyone else except this one crew. And we were sunk within the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, and matchmaking can sometimes give us trouble just on a technical level, running into problems. Sometimes you go into Hourglass, you arrive in the battle, and one of us just, I can't interact with anything. I cannot grab the cannons or the wheel. So, cool. Very cool. Guess I'll kill myself in the middle of battle and then deal with the 180 seconds loading time on a black screen waiting to get back while my crew is down a man against a really tough opponent.
We're all screaming on fire, and Jeff can't do anything because it's just on a black screen, and Jeff just has to watch in agony as we all suffer, and he cannot re-enter the game.
Yeah, you'll have that. That's video games for you. They do that. All of them do. This is not a Sea of Thieves problem. Every video game is the most frustrating experience I've ever had. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It was fine. We couldn't win any matches. I think we tried at it for like an hour or more, and we're just like, no, this isn't working. And I think that really the unforgiving element of it was you had to win like 5 matches.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to, if everything in the world was equal and you just had a 50-50 chance, that's still a lot of time spent, because if I'm going to win 5, it means I'm going to need to play 10, and I need to do that for both sides, so I got to play 20, and let's just assume each one of them takes like 20 minutes to like load in, do it, load out, everything. You're asking me to spend a lot of time in a perfect world, but in an imperfect world, I can spend all of that time and make no progress, because it wasn't just play matches, it was win matches. And if you keep not winning, you keep making no progress. That's not fun. We don't like that.
It's very demoralizing. And, honestly, it was a good experience, though, because it did really help break my FOMO when it comes to Sea of Thieves. It's just not tenable to get everything in the game in this capacity. And it's been 7.5 years, and, I've got to have this life lesson. It's harsh, but it's important for my self-growth. I mean, so much of my Rare fandom is built on the collectathon genre and that obsessive need to get everything. I mean, look how I've played Bananza. Look at how I refused to move on until I got every possible Bananium gem I could get at that point, or every fossil, or, or even max out various smashing stats before I move on. I mean, it's gross. It's a sickness, but I had a lot of fun with Bananza. But in a live game like Sea of Thieves, eventually you are going to hit that wall. You're going to hit your breaking point. And for all my criticisms about this event and the logistics behind it and what they should have done, it should have been like the amount of times you played and not really married to victory. But, they wanted a little present for the PvP diehards. I understand that. It's just not fun, and it was extremely frustrating. Had we loaded in the game at a different time, had it been different circumstances, we could have had a real, jolly good time of it and actually been singing the praises of this. But because of all the litany of issues, not least of which was just getting paired against the same crew again and again, it really dampened my enthusiasm for Sea of Thieves for a week. And then, we just decided to concentrate on having fun. And I think that's important too. Sometimes the grind of Sea of Thieves can really wear you down. The need to engage with, the time limited events and, I got to get this little trinket that I'm never going to use. I'm never going to display this trinket, but I've got to have it. I've got to have it. And then you really lose sight of what made the game so special back when it was new.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. I don't remember really how we fell off of that session, if we went at it for 2 hours or if it was 1 hour and we gave up.
We had a breaking point very early. We realized this is not going to happen, and we were all.
And when we say early, I do think it was after 5 attempts or something. But our attempts were going so quickly because we were just getting wrecked.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is when you get paired against the same crew, it was just very much like they have all the munitions. They have a fully loaded ship prepared to take on, because they are claiming the supplies of every ship they sink, which in this case was just us repeatedly. So we would have to restock, but even then they're so good at it. They have their strategy, and we're already hampered by technical issues, various, lags, and just our own inability to coordinate as a crew sometimes. And so it really just, we hit that wall and we realized, what, this isn't going to happen. Why are we prolonging our misery?
Yeah. Well, there was one other event throughout the season that I think in a vacuum it's a good, fine event. Although I have a pretty glaring complaint about it, and I'll mention. But it was called the Legends Unleashed event, and this happened. I think, was it at the launch of the third month? I think it was. No, it was at the second month. Whatever it was.
It was sometime during season 16. How about that?
During season 16, this event coincided with the launch of the update. And that is important because it will get into my complaint. But I'll tell you what it was. It was this. We've got this big Reaper-themed season. We've got this season with these new Reaper voyages that are encouraging all this Reaper stuff. So they're like, okay, well, just to give the other side some attention, some reason to play and excitement, we'll do this Legends Unleashed event. So during the event, Athena's Fortune reputation was boosted. Athena's Fortune is the good guy faction that is Pirate Legends. They're kind of the opposite of the Reaper's Bones. Reaper's Bones are kind of the bad guy faction. So anyone who's a Pirate Legend, they can do Athena's rep. It has generally more of a focus on PvE than the Reapers have a focus on PvP. But they're the two main big factions. So, boosted rep for Athena, double XP essentially. It was also the return of legendary messages in a bottle,
Yep.
which are you can find them on the beaches, and it gives you a legendary quest to get a lot of great treasure really quick. We love those. Those were from a past event. They only come around very seldomly, but when they do, we like them. Those are fun. Another thing that it was the return of was Ashen Mega Stashes, which is every time you open up a fort vault, every time you go and do a emergent skeleton fort battle, there is a chance that the vault inside is just a freaking jackpot of ashen chests of legend. Ashen chests of legend. Like having like 7 or 8 of them or something in there, which I've never found. I've tried during these events to look for Ashen Mega Stashes, and each time I've done it, I have not hit the jackpot.
Same.
But it's exciting. There also, during this event, was some new permanent changes to the game around Pirate Legends and the Athena's Fortune faction. One of them was they've added these little legendary voyages. There's the main legendary voyage you can go on, which is sort of a grab bag cornucopia of all the different trading company types. They're like, here, go do a riddle, go do a gold hoarder quest, go do an Order of Souls skeleton battle, go do an Order of Souls ghost ship battle, go do a cargo run, and go do a merchant animal delivery voyage. Do all 8 of them, and then when you're done, you can get a chest of legend. That is the original legendary voyage. They added these new little mini legendary voyages that are just like, well, here's a legendary gold hoarder dig. Here's a legendary Order of Souls battle. And you can just do that and just do that one little chunk of it to get a little bit of Athena rep, so that every time you want to go do Athena, it doesn't have to be a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing. And the other thing they added was you can now buy letters of recommendation for Athena's Fortune, which is where you spend doubloons at Lorena's Bilge Rat shop to automatically level up that faction.
Mm-hmm.
And that feature has been in for the other factions. It's never been for this faction, but now it is.
Right. Yeah. The only one you can't buy a letter of recommendation for are the Hourglass factions, which are tangentially related to both Athena's Fortune and Reaper's Bones, but they're their own separate category, and they're very stringent upon you can only level up by engaging in Hourglass battles. And my problem with that, of course, is that the advanced areas in both the Athena's Fortune hideout and the Reaper's hideout, they're only available to those who reach level 100 in each faction. So it is very, very out of reach for anybody who is absolutely trash at PvP or finds it a miserable slog. So it's a shame.
Yeah. And again, we would have more. First of all, we have had plenty of fun at times engaging in PvP and engaging in Hourglass under the right circumstances. But the game does not put its best foot forward when the matchmaking doesn't pair you with a variety of opponents. It doesn't pair you with opponents that are of a relatively equal competitive skill level.
Yeah.
And if you just get wrecked and then you respawn and you go back into battle and you meet the exact same guys again and they wreck you again, and it happens 4 times in a row, that's an issue with the game. It's not the fact that we suck at PvP and hate it. We do suck at PvP, but we often enjoy it if the game actually sets us up to have a decent time. Anyway.
I think my biggest problem, too, is that I feel like not only do my skills atrophy, but I can't get better when you load in and you instantly die. It's just... It's almost like, I cannot evolve as a player who fights other crews with PvP because I'm getting paired against people who are just absolutely killer at it. And, I can never get to that point because I've never, we don't play it enough probably, but also just the fact that it feels like every time we have played it, it's just entirely mismatched.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, if you were trying to get better at basketball by playing a one-on-one against LeBron James, who was not holding up at all, he's like actually trying to crush you, you wouldn't learn anything. As soon as you got your hands on the ball, LeBron James would get it from you, and then he would score a basket, and you would learn nothing. But it is like that.
Like, oh God, I really need to go back to my shack and wagon and learn some basketball skills from the man. But then he just teaches you free throws, and you take that back to LeBron James, and you're still terrible at basketball.
The problem is that Shaq wasn't great at free throws.
That's the joke.
Okay. I underestimated you, Russell.
Well, I made a sports reference.
I'm impressed as fuck.
It's just because Shaq was a rapping genie, and we love that.
I was waiting for Kazam to come up, but no, actually, and I want to say in your defense and in our defense, I don't think we're that terrible at PvP, and every time we're matched against a crew that is basically at our level, we not only have a lot of fun, but we hold our own and generally win. And then, like, or not generally win, but like feel like we had every chance to win, and it was a hard fought, good time.
Yeah, I think it's that back and forth of when you're paired against somebody who is at the relative same skill level, or maybe even just a hair above, but it's that strategy. It is exhilarating when you get in that groove, but it's just been so long. It's been so long since we've been in that groove.
Yeah. So there was that. Now, the Legends Unleashed event had all that stuff going on. Boosted rep, messages and bottles, Ashen Mega Stashes, new changes to the game. But it also had daily goals. And then for the first week of this event, this went from July 17th to July 31st, something along those lines. There was 1 week, they had daily Athena goals. And it's like a daily deed. If you did them, maybe there was a trinket or a reward. I don't remember. I didn't do it. Then week 2, the Reapers struck back like the Empire in Star Wars, or like Cortex in Crash Bandicoot 2. What else? What's a third example of something that has struck back? Let us know in the YouTube comments.
Let us know.
In week 2, the Reapers kind of pushed back against this little Athena excursion and said, oh, well, now there's daily goals for the Reapers and double XP on stolen Athena loot. So if you get Athena loot from other players, you can sell it to the Reapers. And crazily so, 10 times XP for stolen Athena flags sold to the Reapers hideout, which is just astronomical. Although the whole structure of this kind of makes me question, like, okay, if you're doing a whole week of Reaper's goals with Reaper XP, specifically telling you to hunt down Athena emissaries to get all this bonus XP, then aren't all the players gonna not sail as Athena that week?
Right.
Doesn't that make sense? Like, I wouldn't have sailed as Athena that week. That's crazy. I would sail as Reapers. They're the ones getting bonuses, so I'd want to be one of them. Huh. But there was a trinket to earn on each side. I think that here's what it was. The trinkets were earned by this, not by doing the daily goals. The daily goals just got you a bunch of bonus rep. But the trinket was earned by, if you want the Athena trinket, you had to complete so many of those legendary message in a bottles.
Yeah.
And if you wanted the Reaper trinket, you had to sell Athena's Fortune loot to the Reapers.
Right.
Both of which are very doable tasks. If you have the time to do it, they're very doable. And we had 2 weeks to do all this, which is nice, because I don't like when the events are only 1 week.
Yeah. And it was like finding those legendary messages in bottles. You got the purple glint on the beach. It's very exciting, very easy to find, and you just sail around like looking. Sometimes we shoot off to the islands, but you can also a lot of times see them from shore as you sail by, and then you just dig something up, and it's, like you said, very doable, and it's fun because it's not a permanent fixture of the game. It's something that feels special, and yeah, I did get both of those trinkets, and I have the Athena one on the Dreadfully Evil. It's up on one of the barrels in the mid deck.
Yeah, no, the event itself, all in a vacuum, very good. So what's my complaint? Why am I alluding
Jeff?
to
Why are you complaining so much when Rare has given us so much over the years? You sound ungrateful.
Over 40 years? What? 40 years? My complaint is that this event launched the same day as the new content for this season, for the month of the season.
Yeah.
And the event has nothing to do with that content. So it's a very weird thing to me that Sea of Thieves is telling you, hey, we have a brand new voyage for the Reaper's Bones. It's got brand new gameplay. It's got new commendations and tasks to complete. You want to do it. You want to check it out. But at the same time, we have a time-limited event that tells you to do something else. Go do Athena stuff, you idiot. Go do Athena stuff. Why are you doing that? Don't do the new stuff. Go do Athena stuff. That's where all the bonuses are. All the bonuses are for doing Athena stuff. And there's a time-limited reward. If you don't do Athena stuff now, you're not going to get the reward. And it's weird because there are so many weeks of the season where nothing much is going on, where it would be a good time to have an event. But you choose the 1 week where there is something new to do and give me something else. Give me two different things that conflict with each other to do.
Right.
And this isn't the first time they've done this. I think this has been a theme of them for this calendar year. They definitely did this in season 15 when they launched the boar hunting voyage for the Hunter's Call. The same day they launched a Festival of Fishing event with some time-limited fishing voyages.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I want to go hunt boars, but you telling me I have to fish festivals.
Right. And I mean, that's one reason why we did not play the last voyage that they added until yesterday. It's because they distracted us when it launched. And I don't know if this is just a case of like one team behind events not knowing or not coordinating with the team behind the seasonal updates or, what. But I don't know. Like, you could have delayed that one thing by a week and to let people try out the new voyage when it's new.
Or if the theory is, okay, the whole season is Reapers themed, so we need to do something Legend themed to give the other players, throw them a bone. If that's a theory, that should have launched in the second month when the second month's update had no new objectives.
Right.
The second month's update launched with, some tweaks to the game. The fact that you could open the Reaper's chests, which is cool, but it had no new objectives to directly tackle. So that would have been a great time to launch an event that says, hey, you're looking for something to do? Do this. Instead, they waited until they were launching it at the same time as a new voyage, where people want to do the new voyage and they want to find out what it is. But they're like, also, no, you can't do that because here's a limited time event that tells you to do something else. We're giving you 2 objectives at the same time, even though last month we gave you no objectives at any time.
Right.
That's bad planning.
Yeah. It is. I agree with you, Jeff. I thought you were being ungrateful, but it turns out your complaints are well warranted.
I don't say anything that's wrong. Not on this podcast, I don't. Checking in on the live stream chat, and it's just our friend, Just Andre, talking to himself. Good job.
Well, he's
listing off all of the strikes back. Yeah, all of the strikes backs that exist. Mewtwo. A track for Earthbound. That's 2 Inside Baseball. What's Earthbound? I can't. Sorry.
We don't even know who Mewtwo
Hyle
is on this podcast.
I didn't even see the first one. Hyle, we're getting to the end of it. I'm going to do another trivial question. Okay. And then I wanted to... I've been kind of wondering. I almost nervous to ask. Are we going to be able to do any great DK Vine hotline calls on this episode? Because I love them, and I just never know if we will get to or not.
Well, it was touch and go for a while. I announced this episode, and I waited by the phone with a a wanting expression, and eventually I just collapsed on my desk with tears streaming down my face. I was like, they don't care about us anymore. They've forgotten us. But then then it rang. The hotline rang, and it rang not once but twice. So we have 2 calls to take. Would you like to play those calls, or would you like to do the trivia first?
We're gonna do a trivia,
okay,
and we're gonna skip the calls. They're not gonna happen. And then I'm going to do another trivia, and then I'm going to... No, all right, fine. We will do the calls.
We'll do the
trivia
calls first. Trivia first, and then the calls.
No, trivia, then calls, then trivia, then final thoughts. That's the logical way to do it.
Wait, you have 2 more trivia questions?
Hyle, I actually wrote down 40, and I knew I wasn't going to use all of them, but I have them saved for a future episode.
You did one for every year of Rare. That's so sweet.
I knew. I'm a sweetie. I'm a little sweetheart, but I do have so many more. I filled up 7 yellow Post-it notes, and each one has 4 or 5 questions on it. So that's a lot.
Can I? Is Little Sweetie the first possible choice?
It's not,
okay.
Because if I told you, it'd be. I have to change it now. I'm changing it in real time. Here goes. One of these is a DKU character. One of these is a 70s or 60s rock and roll band. Rock and roll used loosely. Don't correct me on that. Come on, guys. I don't want to hear anyone come in and be like, actually, they're kind of a folk band. They're not rock and roll. Shut up. Here you go, Hyle. Humble Pie. Tumbleweed. Scuttlebug.
Andre says I laugh whenever I hear the DKU character. It's not so much that. It's
apparently that's true.
I've got it figured out, though. So Scuttlebug. Now, this could be a trick question because Scuttlebug is the fanon name we gave to the racing beetle in Donkey Kong 64. But I think you're playing by our rules, DK Vine logic here. So that's the DKU character.
It is.
Yeah.
And also, I got the names off of the DK Vine website, so if they're not true, it's because you personally are a liar.
All right. Well, that character does not have a name because Rare, it's the first time they really shit the bed, but before they started having time-limited events when they rolled out new content in a Sea of Thieves season. And it was like, well, first you didn't name the racing beetle in DK64, now this, but we call him Scuttlebug, which I believe was also a Mario 64 baddie, but whatever, who cares? So we both have spinies we can share. The band is, of course, Humble Pie.
Yep.
All
right. Another one bites the dust. We have a couple of calls.
That's
We're
Queen.
excited about them.
Okay. Yes. We have calls. Let's go with the first one. Because I was thinking, should I play the second call first? I was like, let's not make it confusing. All right?
Yeah. Let's talk it through, though, live. All right.
Let's play the first call now.
Yo ho ho, shiver me timbers, it be your old mate Crawlnex called in for Talk Like a Pirate Day and the Sea of Thieves episode. Wouldn't it be funny if the Sea of Thieves episode got more calls than sub-layer 1100 of Donkey Kong Bananza? You know it won't happen, but in this era of uncertainty, we can at least laugh about it, don't you know? Since I said other seas in the Sea of Thieves, I'm going to use this opportunity to ask a Sea of Thieves related question. I'm sure that we'd all like Rare IP to be revived with traditional game structures. But given that Rare seems to only be interested in live services these days, which Rare IP would be the best fit for a Sea of Thieves-esque live service revival? Thank you for taking the call, mateys. Yo-ho-ho.
Well, thank you for the... I feel bad because I announce it like a Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I feel like some people, whenever they call into these, they feel like they have to talk like a pirate, and it's like, we don't care. We don't do that. It's Talk Like a Pirate Day. It's an excuse to celebrate pirates, but God, I don't want to do the voice. I don't want to do that nonsense.
I'll be answering that question in a piratey voice, matey.
Yeah.
Yes. Yar. So the question be, which Rare IP?
Jeff's going for it.
I'm doing it. It's talk. I have to try. What was the question?
Alright,
the question be, which Rare IP be best suited for a live service game here in a modern gaming climate, so to speak? Conquer.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before, right? I think this is your pitch.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Conquer, there's a lot of different ways to do Conquer, in which you could adapt it to live service. I like to see it as sort of a squad shooter, like, jump in with 4 friends and go do, like, waves of enemies through a campaign type online game. Or alternatively, although this genre that I'm about to cite is dying for sure, but for a while, the biggest hotness was like a 4v1 type game mode. Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, the game, Evolve was one of them, the Evil Dead video game, which is where you're going to have 4 characters on one side who have one sort of gameplay, and they're all going up against a 5th player, a human, that is like a boss who's got a totally different play style. 4v1 Conquer, where it's like 4 of your friends are squirrels and 1 of your friends is the Great Mighty Pooh. That'd be kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
I could see some cool boss fight stuff in that. Or like Greg, the Grim Reaper versus 4 squirrels. I don't know.
Or 4 cats, even.
4 cats. Or the Stray Cats.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Perfect Dark is a multiplayer shooter that is very suited to a live service model. Killer Instinct 2013 already went into a lot of the various cadences of like events and updates and DLC and stuff. It was sort of innovative for its time in the fighting game space for how it delivered its fighters and its monetary distribution model. But for me, the answer is Conquer.
I agree. I liked your Conquer pitch, and I stand by it, and I have no opinions of my own, apparently.
I'm smart. Real smart.
You are smart. You are a very good games idea brain. That's what I call it. That's the official title for Jeff. Games idea brain.
Yeah, it's very good games idea brain.
Yeah, no, you always have this pitch, and I'm just like, why has nobody thought of this? And honestly, you should be hired by somebody to just crank out ideas, because I don't think your ideas have been matched by anybody ever when it comes to video games. I think you could turn the entire industry around.
Well, damn. Thank you, Hyle. And while we're just being complimentary buddies, I want you to know that you're very handsome.
Well, yeah, thanks. That's all I've got going for me. But
if I was a Dracula, even if I was nervous, I would eat your ass if you asked me to do it.
You would suck my butthole as a Dracula. Thank you. That's the highest compliment I've ever received.
I'd be like, I don't know, I've never, but if that's what you want, then me as a Dracula. That's my Dracula voice. Cool. Thank you for the call. It's not Talk Like a Dracula Day.
No,
we're not going to.
That should be a thing, though.
I would like it. I want to talk like this.
Yeah. It's probably insulting to Eastern Europeans.
There's a certain not appropriateness to it. Although I did think our caller didn't quite sound like a pirate. It sounded more just like a Scottish person.
They can be pirates.
Not that it was insulting. Yeah. I think anyone can be a pirate. I do if you're just going to say every accent can, you say, oh, Scottish people can be a pirate. Well,
sure.
So can Valley Girls, but I wouldn't call it a pirate, Talk Like a Pirate Day. Moon unit down here, like trying to batten the hatches and raise the mid sail. All right. Thank you for the call.
Wasn't expecting the Friend Zappa reference, but why am I surprised?
On the episode about all the bands, come on, it's all in there.
All right.
We have one more call.
We have a second call. It's a 1-2 punch.
Secondary, second but equal.
Hello, this is Traveler of the Stars calling about Sea of Thieves. Yes, Jeff, Hyle, you're both looking great today. Jeff, by the way, I've been enjoying the conversations you've been on. I listened to your Other Voices episode, and You're too hard on yourself, Jeff. You're too hard on yourself. You're a charismatic guy. Anyway, I'm calling because I was curious. When do you two think Sea of Thieves will come to Switch 2? Because you know it's going to come to Switch 2. It's done really well on PlayStation. Microsoft is basically going third party. And you gotta imagine they're gonna want to put a lot of their big games on Nintendo platforms. So I'm just curious, when do you think that will happen? I'd certainly be open to playing it if it came to the Switch 2, which is why I'm calling in. I know you guys are very passionate about the game. I'd be interested in what like exclusive content they'd add. I know like they did like a little bit for the PlayStation version. I'm not saying that there's the gameplay alien, but I don't know, maybe those add like a brown and red like ape suit or something. I don't know. So I don't know. What do you think about this idea? When do you think they'll do it? Is there anything you'd want to see? And yeah, have a good one.
Well, thank you for the call, Traveler of the Stars. You know, you always compliment our appearance, but Jeff is the only one who's told me I'm so handsome, I'm worthy to have Dracula eat my ass. And I don't know. Like, I'm not saying you need to go to that level when you call in, but I feel like the bar has been raised just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at compliments. So thank you for the call. The question being Sea of Thieves on the Switch 2. Not a if, but a when.
Wow. Adamant.
That's the thesis of this call.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that possibility, Jeff? In all honesty,
I think I'll be honest with you. I think that on a decision-making desirability standpoint, it has to be on their radar. It has to be a conversation that's happening or happened.
A little chit-chat.
Whether or not it actually goes through, I think is going to come down to technical questions that are above our brains. I don't know everything, but Sea of Thieves is an incredibly complicated game that's very tied into online services inside of Microsoft's infrastructure of servers and things, and it's online, and there's a lot of question marks there. If you put it on Switch 2, they need to figure out cross-play, they need to figure out game chat, they need to figure out integrating your Microsoft account with your Nintendo account, which I'm not sure if any games do that yet. This was all... I'm not going to say it was seamless on the PlayStation 5, because, again, lots of questions that had to be answered. But PlayStation 5 is a console that is built to have that crossover. That the two are very similar. Sea of Thieves was not the first game to be multi-platform between those two. Even the first game that is a Microsoft exclusive property. So I think the door was already open for that. The infrastructure might have already been built for that. Now the question to then say, can we do the same thing on Nintendo? It's not nearly as simple, I assume. So
yeah, like I know the Switch 2 is more powerful than a Switch, and that's the extent of my knowledge. And like you said, it's incredibly complicated. It's a far more lateral move to put it on PlayStation 5 or Battle.net. And again, like as I was saying earlier, I didn't even know what Battle.net was before they announced Sea of Thieves is coming to Battle.net. I'm a Nintendo kid at heart, and I look at a game like Sea of Thieves, and it just doesn't equate with Nintendo to me. Is it possible? Yeah, perhaps. Are they having those discussions? I'm sure it has been brought up at Rare. But again, getting it working, like Minecraft, you can have on Nintendo platforms. Sea of Thieves is a whole different kettle of fish, as they might say in Sea of Thieves, because you catch fish. I don't think there's kettles.
Huh.
Yeah. Captain Beefheart would really be upset with your kettle of fish.
Cattle. Yeah, I was trying to work it. Cattle of fish.
Cattle of fish, yeah.
Because
that
of
would
beef
be good
and cowbells.
This hybrid cow / fish that we've concocted in Captain Beefheart.
Yeah, the Ruby Splashtail Monarch.
Yeah.
So I think that my final thought on that is, I think that if it is feasible technically, and then if the effort to achieve that technical feasibility, if that effort is financially viable, if all the answers to that are yes, then I think it will happen. I think that there's nothing political that will stop it. I think there's that and this is just me speculating. I'm just saying I think that the desire would be there. I think the logic is if we could put it on Switch 2, let's do that. So go ahead and wait a few years and look back, and then if it's still not on Switch 2, I think you can assume it was just a technical hurdle or something that made it not worth the effort.
Yeah. And the other part of Traveler's question was what exclusive cosmetics would we like on the Switch 2? Because, Battle.net got those ugly sails that really don't fit the style of any other cosmetics in Sea of Thieves. Just the big, ugly logos of the Blizzard games plastered on sails without any Sea of Thieves stylization, as was the norm for everything else in the game. And then PlayStation 5 had some exclusive cosmetics that aren't really themed to PlayStation 5 all that much.
Good question. Would they do it, and what would it be?
Yeah,
I would love to. I would love to think like, oh, okay, Rare working with Nintendo. One of the seldom times that happens. I'd love if they reference their own history and just do like a Donkey Kong set. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing they have been doing for this.
Yeah,
I would warn against getting too excited about that possibility because I don't think that's what they would do.
I would love it. Obviously, having the Kremlin Jolly Roger sails, give me an authentic, gangplank galleon ships that Andre is screaming in the live stream, just that right now. But that would be the ideal. But in reality, would Nintendo even want that in Sea of Thieves? It's the kind of thing where they are a lot more precious with Donkey Kong now. Donkey Kong has a home, has the game of the summer, and would they really want Rare to even offer that? I mean, I could see it, sure. I could see it, but I would also just not be surprised if that would never even be on the table. Like, they're putting it on Nintendo Switch 2, and they're going to offer exclusive cosmetics for Nintendo players, but they won't actually be themed around anything Nintendo.
Yeah, or maybe they're just very sort of generically Nintendo themed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some sails or wheels that kind of have like Joy-Con colors in them and stuff. Like, not. And I'm laughing, but like there's a way to do that is like, oh, cool, this is a Switch themed ship that fits in Sea of Thieves. If you look at the Xbox themed Duke set, the Duke cosmetic set for Sea of Thieves, which is themed around the Xbox console, that to me is a great example of a Sea of Thieves cosmetic themed around a game console with the colors and visuals I think they executed that very well. They didn't really do that when they made a PlayStation themed set. So
yeah, they gave you a bird that resembles Kazooie.
That's true, they did. But it's not like they made this cool big ship set with like the square, triangle, circle, X designs all over it. Like, that would have been awesome. I would have eaten that shit up because I'm a PlayStation kid. Hyle keeps saying I'm not, I don't know Battle.net. I'm a Nintendo kid. I'm a PlayStation kid. I'm a grown man.
Oh,
and
okay. I'm a virtual boy.
I'm a wonder swan, and I'm very territorial. This lake is my lake. But no, they didn't.
Wasn't the wonder swan your imaginary friend?
No, it was an extinct megafauna, a giant flightless bird. So yeah, I think they would do a cosmetic set, but it might not be exciting at all.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Now, the thing is, though, Traveler, that they already have a lot of generic copyright skirting Nintendo cosmetics in Sea of Thieves because they reference Donkey Kong all the time to the legal extent they can.
That is true. And they don't even kind of hide from it. Like the killer whale figurehead, which is on guard the swordfish.
It's just on guard the swordfish.
It just is. And then they don't just throw that in the game and ignore it. I think within the last month, they posted it on social media and said, what's the best figurehead in Sea of Thieves and why is it this one? And they just posted it. And I was like, oh, that's on guard the swordfish. I like that guy. Like they're not hiding these little references, but
just the other week they did a social media post that said "Oh banana."
Yeah, I forgot they did do that.
Yeah.
That's true, they did do that. So good job on the Sea of Thieves part. Thank you for the call.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, Donkey Kong themed chipset. And although people are, you guys have said Gangplank Galleon specifically, that would be the best. I think they would probably go more high level, more marketably, just like generally a Donkey Kong ship would be the more marketable move to make, and just be like, whoa, everyone look, there's a Donkey Kong ship in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
With just like, probably with barrels, like DK barrels and coconut stuff and banana stuff. Like they would do that as a general Donkey Kong thing. DK sails. Red sails with the yellow letters.
Cannons
that would be cool.
Like barrel cannons.
Cannons that look like Cannon, the Kremlin. His nipples
tits,
glistening. Yeah. Glistening in the breeze. Yeah, no, it'd be cool. We're all wanting it. We're getting that erection. We're going to have to stop and think about gilfs. Yeah. Thank you for the call.
Thank you for the call, Traveler. Aren't you happy you called in?
So before we get into our final thoughts, I think we'll just cap it off with one more trivia, then we'll do our final thoughts, and then, fade it out. All right, here we go with one. This is too easy. I'll do it anyway. All right, here you go. Ready, Hyle?
I am ready.
Okay. Big Al, Lil Billy, Thin Lizzy.
Oh, come on. All right.
I know.
Big Al is the DKU character. He's a rhino. He's gross.
Yes.
Lots of snot coming out of that nose.
Pretty hot.
Thin Lizzy is the band. The boys are back in town.
So far, yes.
So, yeah. And then Lil Billy, it's nothing.
It could be a DKU character. You don't know.
It could be.
Fine.
It's I don't know. It sounds like a euphemism, honestly.
It does, Lil Billy. It sounds like, yeah, it would be like a euphemism that was like British that I didn't quite get, as all the rare ones are. Like Roger the Cabin Boy. By the way, I wanted to come up with one for Roger the Cabin Boy, and I just couldn't come up with a band that had the same exact structure of the name. And the other one I wanted to come up with was a tropical freeze enemy like Chum Chucker Charlie or Monocle Monica, and I couldn't come up with a band that had a name of that structure either. I struggled. So, well, there you go. I've given those away. They aren't in there. So
yeah. Well, I love whenever you're on the conversation, Jeff, because there's about a 50-50 chance you're going to reference Chum Chucker Charlie or Monocle Monica.
They're my go-tos. It's like back when you had just like a circle of people you could talk to on the cell phone, like your 5 friends. Remember back when cell phones did that? Like, well, all right, it's going to be expensive except for your 5 friends in your circle. My 5 friends are Chum Chucker Charlie, Monocle Monica, Nilsson. Probably Nilsson is in there. I think Pumpkinhead from the Pumpkinhead film franchise is one of my 5 friends, and the 5th one is you, Hyle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the 5th one is Son of Schmilson.
Nilsson, Schmilson, and Son of Schmilson, they share a phone.
Yeah, Son of Schmilson, he was dressed like Dracula on that album cover. So you see?
Yeah.
You see what we're doing?
Well, you really couldn't see because he was buried face deep in some beehole. Very fun. What's your final thoughts on season 16 of Sea of Thieves, Hyle?
You know, it's funny because we were talking about it and I was like, yeah, we like that. We like that. We like that. Why did the season fall so flat with me? Why did it just feel like season 16 was the lowest point of my enthusiasm for Sea of Thieves since it came out? You know, I love Sea of Thieves, Jeff. That shouldn't be in question. And I'm not one of these people. I'm not one of these influencers, these content creators that complain over the most pathetic minutia. Every time they change something in the game, I run to the YouTube and I make a video that'll get the clicks, that'll really ride the algorithm, and I'll, you know, really get everybody's rage like it's a cannon up and bursting because, you know, I just can never be happy because I can't accept change. I'm not one of those people. I roll with things, generally speaking. And like I said, I like Skeleton Friends. I like the lantern that beats like a heart. I like lots of the stuff in this season. But I think there are two things at play with this season. And the first one isn't Sea of Thieves' fault. It's that it coincided with Donkey Kong Bananza.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to overcome.
You really can't get around that. And, you know, thinking back, Sea of Thieves launched in 2018. It launched generally like a couple years after the last new standalone Donkey Kong game came out. Almost 4 years after. 4 years in 1 month, you know? So for the better part of a decade, our fandom, whether that be Rare, whether that be the broader DKU, whether that just be DK Vine duties, it has really been anchored by Sea of Thieves. It has all really just been about Sea of Thieves. Now, we've had Platonic, you know, as a ever-present part of that as well, that era where, you know, we got Yooka-Laylee and Impossible Lair, there was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We've had other things to discuss, but at the end of the day, the biggest thing, the thing that we kept coming back to every week, and we didn't really have a whole lot else going on, was Sea of Thieves. And then we have Donkey Kong Bananza, which is the biggest game to hit our fandom in over a generation. And so obviously it's going to be hard for the game that's 7.5 years old to compare to that enthusiasm, that newness, that just like celebration of everything we love about Donkey Kong. Yeah, like that's not Sea of Thieves' fault. So I have to be honest there. My attention was taken away from Sea of Thieves really for the first time since it launched. Okay. But the other aspect is season 16 is the tail end of really how they have been structuring the seasons and rolling out content in the game since adventures have ended and since the Monkey's Island Tall Tales, which were 2 years ago at this point. Like the Monkey's Island Tall Tales were over 2 years ago at this point, and since then
that was the tail end of season 9.
Yeah. So for 7 seasons, we have had these updates to the game, and they have always been very themed around a specific aspect or a specific trading company or faction or general idea. And without the narrative thrust that adventures have provided or the tall tales have provided, Sea of Thieves has gradually felt more and more aimless from like what is happening in the context of the game's universe, the game's story, the game's characters. It has all felt like, honestly, a video game, which it is. I'm not saying a video game should not feel like a video game, but it's lost a lot of that rare charm that was embedded in Sea of Thieves' DNA at launch. And you can call that the, like, Greg Malesian influence, but there are other people at Rare who have, you know, carried that torch. I'm not saying it was just Greg Males, and it, you know, it honestly stayed with the game even when Greg stepped away from Sea of Thieves and focused on other things at Rare. So it's not just like lionizing one creator at the expense of all the other brilliant people at Rare. I think it's just there hasn't been a way to really deliver that narrative in Sea of Thieves. And it also falls into the problem of even when they have these like waves of updates, like we're adding this in month 1, we're adding this in month 2, we're adding this in month 3, it's just still married to that core conceit, that core concept of whatever the theme of the season is. In this case, it was Reapers. Last season, it was Hunter's Call. And yeah, it starts to get, I hate to use the word monotonous again when I'm not referring to Waves of Phantoms, but it feels a little monotonous, especially if your main interest in the game doesn't lie with that faction or, you know, in the cases of like the PvP heavy seasons, you know, fighting other players. And I don't know, I think season 16, I just kind of hit my mental wall with it. It felt like there was no care being done with the narrative, and it all just began to feel very mechanical. Now, I say all that not to say I've hit my breaking point with Sea of Thieves, because that's not true. They've actually course corrected, and they've begun to address those issues. They were well aware of what was happening, this slow degradation of what really made like the early seasons and the structure around them so appealing. And while we're not getting adventures back, while Tall Tales might not be being added to the game, and I understand that the game is 7.5 years old, and that takes time and capital, you know, but they have started to address the formulaic structure of the seasons, and they have started to make it less of a grind with the new season structure, which we're not going to talk about on this episode, but by adding acts to the season, by adding something that feels a little bit more familiar to the old adventure structure, even without the adventure branding, I am kind of optimistic. I am enjoying season 17 far more than I've enjoyed season 16, and that's even with me still playing Donkey Kong Bananza. So I think that they addressed all of this at just the right time, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I think that the only thing left to say, Hyle, is one more trivia. If you want to go a quick one, are you ready?
I've gotten them all right but one, so I'm feeling like those hourglass battles. I'm feeling pretty confident. I feel like I can sink whatever rises up in front of me.
Okay, so one of these is a DKU character. One of these is a performing artist from the 60s and 70s. One of them is made up. All right. The first one is Melanie. The second one is Melanie.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.
Or as Bing Crosby would say, aloha on a cowbell.